Son of a bitch. What? Oh, are we online?
We probably are now.
Sweet.
Welcome to the internet.
I should tweet.
It's a fun place where everybody has fun and respects each other.
That doesn't sound
Where?
like fun.
I don't know where that place
The
is.
internet.
Oh.
It's a place to disseminate the vast entirety of human knowledge.
And there's my freeze frame where I'm just making shit blow up for no reason.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Freeze frame. Everybody has rational discussions.
I'm all about those rational discussions.
We're still spreading lies about the internet.
The internet is a wonderful place where we drop phones on the floor.
Good thing for this case and the carpet.
And that Jens wasn't throwing it across the room like a goddamn kaiju monster.
No, look at my phone.
My OtterBox works really good. Smash!
It's like he's right here.
What the fuck just happened? Why did we go into old school Yen's voice? Did I miss the catalyst
Yeah.
That's what he
No.
did the first year we met him. He threw his phone across the room.
there? I know, but what set that off? You're just
Didn't he
like
dunk it
random
in the
Yen's
drink?
He dropped his phone.
He dropped his phone.
I dropped my phone.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
I've dropped this phone like 50 times.
Yeah.
That's why I get a case. Like, whenever I see someone walking around with an iPhone without a case,
Ugh.
it's like they have a live grenade with the pin out. I'm just like, stay away from me. I don't want any part of this.
This shit's
No,
about
no,
to
no,
go
no,
off.
no, no.
Shit's about to go off.
No, 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 no.
No, dude, you stay the fuck away from me if you take that out of that case. Oh, my
it's
God.
naked.
No.
It's
Look,
really
you know
difficult
what?
to
You
get
just
my phone out of
scratched
the
it.
case.
Now it's going to get herpes.
You just shattered the back of it.
Ew. Ew. Ew.
I didn't lick it. I just rubbed it up against my face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's much better.
Man, all that fecal matter.
Why would my phone have
Yes.
fecal matter on it?
That's the number one source of fecal matter. Well, second after your ass.
Oh,
so my phone is number 2.
if you want to get technical about it. I don't know. I've got the internet on my phone, Chuck. So I'm thinking the phone is way more prone to fecal matter than my ass.
Why would my phone be number 2 for fecal matter behind my ass?
Because it's poop number 2.
Yeah.
I don't poop with my phone.
Well,
No, you poop with your ass.
No, I mean my phone does
that's
not.
why your ass is
my
number
phone
one.
does not enter into the equation when I am pooping. My phone is
Oh,
elsewhere.
really?
Yeah.
Then what do you do while you're pooping?
Yeah, what do you read like the Farmer's Almanac in there or something?
Yeah.
I poop and get the fuck out.
No way, man.
What? Oh, that's a. I don't care. That's an
That's
Android
fucking
phone.
garbage phone.
This is as
Who gives a
expensive.
fuck if you break that thing?
This
You
is
just
as
get a
expensive
fucking
as
another.
yours.
Android phones
You just
everywhere.
walk in there
That's
just like,
that's
oh,
made
here.
of poop.
Get one out of a vending machine.
Yeah, you act like I'm gonna be like I care if you break your.
It's
Android.
as expensive as your stupid phone.
It's your fucking chocolate bar.
Yeah. Yeah, what OS are you on? Fucking Laffy Taffy? What the fuck?
I hope so.
Well, that's when you shake it.
Yeah.
You shake it.
Smarties.
Shake a Laffy Taffy.
We have fun here. But yeah, there's poop all over your phone.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
totally-
So what is it? Is it just because you took it in the bathroom?
Yes.
Now you've shat upon it now.
Yes. It's like your ass, phones, computer keyboards. Those are the three.
Who's
filters.
shitting on their computer keyboard?
Yeah.
Have
It
you
just-
seen the
is
internet?
implication that people like? Do people not wash their hands?
No.
I mean, the phone I can understand because what the fuck else are you going to do while you're sitting there?
Poop. Get the fuck out.
Poop.
It's not a fucking marathon. It's a sprint.
Look, no.
No.
You obviously have not eaten Fiber One bars, sir.
Yeah, you need to put some Fiber One in you.
No, I do. That it's brew.
No.
Oh,
With
you're
Fiber
eating
One, it's like
no. That's Olestra.
My
Oh,
director
God,
makes
Oli.
$1. Well, my director makes $3. I make a dime. And that's why I shit on company time.
Okay.
Sometimes
I'm
I
getting
just
paid
need
to shit.
Sometimes I just need 5 minutes where nobody is asking me a question. And
5
you know what?
minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That's how much time I spend in the bathroom because I
Wowzy
can't spend
wow.
any more because then people will wait outside the door.
Oh, you have a single occupancy.
No, there's
Oh.
2 different bathrooms,
Okay.
but yeah, but
But
they
the
are
other one is a
single.
lactation
Yeah.
station.
No.
We have a lactation station
that is
in our
illegal. It cannot be the bathroom. It has to be a room that is not connected to the bathroom.
because of all the fecal matter.
Yeah, you don't want turd in the titty milk.
Yeah. Don't feed turds to your babies.
Yeah. You don't want to do that
Mamas,
to the baby.
don't feed turds to your babies.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
It really is.
No, but we have 2 bathrooms. One is the shitting bathroom. One is the other bathroom.
The other.
No, for
Whatever
real,
you got,
like,
as long as
if
it's not
you got
shit.
a shit, you go to the one way in the back.
Right.
If you don't, you got to go in the one where you might have to direct.
Do
the
they just
customer
like
to
say
it at some point.
SB and PB on them, like shit bathroom, piss bathroom?
No, there's just a
no,
number
it's
one
just,
and a
it's
number
just
two.
understood.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what's sad is like the shit bathroom, way better than the pissing bathroom. Because guess what the pissing bathroom smells like?
Piss?
Piss.
Oh.
What?
No matter how we clean it, something is wrong with that bathroom.
So it smells like that Wendy's.
And the
Worse.
shitting bathroom,
you
do you
mean,
have like
Wendy's.
sprays
Right,
and
I-
potpourri? No.
No, it just naturally goes away.
Okay.
So the piss smell overwhelms the Febreze.
It's something I don't know. I would like. If there was like a reverse option that like made it smell nice all the time, I would find a way to clone that and make millions of dollars.
Okay.
Instead, no, it just always smells like piss. Like, and I don't know what it is. Like, are women pissing on the floor? I don't know.
Probably.
I don't understand.
I mean, women.
Men are
right?
probably pissing on the floor, and the seat, and the handle,
The ceiling?
Yes.
Sometimes.
Ceiling.
And their phone and their keyboards.
your phone.
It's just
yeah.
like a water wiggle.
It is, yeah. You just turn it on. And it's just like you don't know where it's gonna go. All over.
You're right. Sometimes you turn it on, you just have no idea where it's going to go, Chuck.
You don't.
Ah.
Well,
So I'm glad I'm here.
yeah. Welcome back.
I'm not at work.
yeah,
It's
where,
great.
Where it smells like piss.
Not just the bathroom.
Okay.
The rest of it smells like ink.
Our new building smells like mildew now.
What?
Oh, now?
Yep.
Like it was fine before you moved in.
No, it was fine for 2 weeks.
Place
Place
was fine before I got
it
here.
arrived.
Yeah. And now, for some reason,
Well, you brought it all with you. All the mildew remnants from the old building.
Is it like your car air conditioner, like when when you have it on recycle and then you turn it on vent and it smells like gym socks?
Yeah.
Is that what your building smells like now?
Christ, what
no,
was in
it
there?
smells like you've left your towels in the wash too long.
Oh no.
Yeah,
So something's wrong with your AC. Guaranteed.
probably. I assume something is also wrong with the building leaking because the first time we had rain since we've been there were trash cans in the lobby. So
Wow. I'm glad you couldn't escape that.
right.
Yes. So you went from one leaky sieve building to another leaky
Yes.
sieve building.
Yes, this one was just built 10 years later, I think.
So it's past its expiration date, is what you're
Oh,
telling
yeah.
me.
So you're in the Independent Life building formerly?
Yes.
I can never remember what
Oh,
they
the
are
Modus
now.
building.
No, the Modus
No.
building is the pyramid one.
No,
No, the Modus
no.
building was the big.
Oh,
tall one.
okay.
Now
It was Independent Life, then it was Modus, then it was Bell South?
AccuStaff.
AccuStaff.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was AccuStaff, then Modus.
Yes.
And now it's Wells Fargo.
It's Independent Life for me.
Yeah.
Forever.
And the other one is the Barnett Tower.
Oh.
Now it's the Bank of America.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I was in the SunTrust building, which I
Word.
think was First Union at some point as well. Back when I did my agency work.
Is that the one on the South Bank?
I thought First Union was what Barnett became.
No, there's a lot of confusing history around the names of the buildings because all of those high rises downtown have been one bank or another, and now ViStar is ViStar is moving into the place across the street, and they're going to be the named tenant. So whatever that building is that's across the street is going to be the ViStar building. The one another block over used to be the First Union, and I forget which one was the SunTrust.
Yeah.
I've completely
So-
lost track.
Are you enjoying the lunch options downtown?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm very jealous of Jen because there's like food trucks everywhere and all
Yeah.
sorts of.
this is real boring for other people, but we've been there 3.5 weeks now, so that's give or take 17, 18 days, and I have been to 14 different places to eat. So,
Yeah. And you probably walked to all of them.
yes, I walked to all of them except for one day, and I don't even remember where that was. We got in the car and went somewhere because somebody was having a craving for something. But we went to Ola over there on
Oh yeah.
First Street in Maine or whatever it is. But
wait, is that? Oh wait, Olay?
no, Ola. It's
Hi.
hello. It's Main Street across from Confederate Park. You know where the
I
waterworks
thought that was
is?
Olay.
Pretty sure it's Ola. I
Okay,
don't fucking
maybe.
know. It doesn't really matter.
Is
but
there an H or no H?
From Frozen?
It is pretty good though. It is a pretty good Mexican place.
It's Ola.
Okay.
I think there's a Cafe Olay somewhere else, but
yeah.
it's pretty good.
I've
It's
had one of those. Little tiny coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cafe Ole.
it's pretty good. Like typical
Cheap
Americanized
Mexican,
Cisco
Americanized,
Mexican.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fast.
It's fine.
It's fine. Anyway, this has been my lunchtime chat for downtown Jacksonville.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know all the places we eat before we come to do BMFcast?
Yeah.
Those
that's-
are all my options
Well,
every single day.
at least you got an Arby's.
The best days are when I go down to Four Rivers.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm like, you know what? I work here. I work right by here. I should eat at Four Rivers every day.
Yeah.
Get some burnt ends.
Yeah.
Not every day.
I know. It would
You'd
lose
die.
its luster.
Do that too.
Just you go to El Potro.
In this instance, be glad that you did not go to Brunswick with us because you would have had barbecue ruined for you forever.
yeah.
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 Yeah. I've been thinking
Honestly-
equal parts about going back to Pinball Palace and Southern Soul Barbecue.
It's worth a trip up there just to go to Southern Soul Barbecue.
Well, feel free to invite me next time. Just saying.
I'm not in charge of anything ever. Which is me blaming someone else.
No, it's cool. It's fine. Everything is
We
fine.
just boy who cried wolfed it.
I know.
That's all.
I know. You guys assumed I had something going on, so it's fine.
Was that the one
It's
weekend
totally
you
fine.
didn't have something going on?
It actually was.
Told you.
Do you,
I told you.
I was like, because you guys were like, hey, you need to try this film place. I'm like, okay. Maybe I will. Next time I get invited.
Okay.
do you want to go up, you and me?
To be fair,
To be fair.
This
Every
plan-
time you invite me to
no.
anything,
Well,
I
yes,
say no.
But
I
also,
know.
this plan initially was just Harlow and I because we were going to go to a comic book thing and then
Yeah.
just drive up there. And then at some point, he asked BJ, unbeknownst to me, and so they had already finalized that plan. And I was like, well, they must have asked Mackie, and he said no because this was all.
Everybody
Oh, wow.
throwing each other under
This
the
is
bus.
nice. It's like
throwing under the bus.
Hey,
So
it's like, like Billie Jean
thought,
King over here with the returns.
because this all went down before a
I'm
show,
not
I
mad.
thought that you had been asked and gave your standard. No, I can't do that. So,
Actually, I think to be fair, the night we discussed about doing it, you weren't at the podcast.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
okay.
He's just
But
disappointed.
that's why I made a point the day before to say, hey, can you come down to Daytona because
No.
there's pinball.
And I told you no.
You did.
I appreciate you inviting me to that one. But no, honestly, like I
I knew it
Like-
halfway up there. I was
I
like,
didn't have
"You know
anything
what? I
going
bet
on."
no one asked Matt.
but honestly, like I did not want to get up off my couch that day, so it all worked out.
That's fine. You only missed incredible brisket.
And also pinball.
And some pinball. But my dad asked, he's like, so are there more pinball conventions happening? I'm like,
Aw.
well, guess what? Turns out,
Uh-huh.
turns out there's a place in Brunswick and there's one right near you in Daytona.
Yeah.
But I said the Daytona one's iffy.
And the Daytona one is not.
He would like the Daytona one, I think.
But also
yeah.
There's
Orlando.
just not enough. There's not enough tables there. That's the problem.
Not to spend the whole day.
No, it's like you can be done with the one in Daytona in like an hour, hour and a half. It's like I could have
But I-
if my legs could have I could have stayed at Pinball Palace for another 6 hours if I
Sure.
wasn't exhausted. Like I mean, seriously, I didn't even touch every table there.
So it's that awesome.
There's a lot of stuff there.
It's what, $20?
Yeah,
20
20
bucks,
bucks
yeah.
for the day.
It should have been cheaper because we were supposed to get a group rate, but
We confused the poor girl at the counter.
So is
She-
there anything there that like can you think of anything that wasn't there?
Yeah,
sure,
yes.
sure.
And
Grand Lizard?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll just say, like, every modern pinball release going back to,
Spider-Man.
yeah. Like
Well,
every Stern table.
well,
was-
But
Okay,
they
so
had the-
basically they've just been buying them since they've been
they had
released.
he had the Vault edition of the Spider-Man though.
Yeah.
It wasn't the
Right.
Spider-Man 3 one. He had the Ultimate Spider-Man reskin one.
yeah. But I mean, they had pretty much every table that came out in the last 5 years.
They had the
easily.
Beatles. They had the limited edition of the Beatles.
Well, even more than that, I mean, not that it's a good table, but they have that Primus table, which is even more super limited, crazy edition.
There's only
well,
100 of
I
them.
just
Yeah.
mean that like
Yeah. It was
the
brand-
Beatles table came
brand
out
new, yeah.
within the last year, and they have it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were doing
I mean,
no fucking
the
around.
Primus,
Well, I mean, I
the
would
Primus
think they
table
would
is
just be
Big Juicy
ordering-
Melons, right? Yeah.
They would just
They
be
did not have
ordering
Big
everything
Juicy
that
Melons.
Stern releases, I would think.
It seems
I
like
guess.
Like, did they have the reproduction like Monster Bash.
did have that,
and
yeah.
They
Medieval
had
Madness.
Repro,
Yep.
Medieval
They already
Madness.
had
and
Monsters.
Attack from Mars.
Monsters was there. That's brand spanking new.
Was
Yeah.
Attack from Mars a repro or an original?
That was an original.
I think that one was original, but the Medieval Madness was the repro.
Yeah.
They even had a Star Wars Episode 1
Yeah,
tucked
your,
over in
your
the corner.
favorite.
Yeah, I really do
Yeah.
like that table.
Well, whenever I get a bigger house and can do that, I will probably consider getting one of those repros.
So, yeah, it would honestly be worth it.
Yeah.
because they're really good. They're
Yeah.
surprisingly good.
And that Monster Bash, like I enjoyed it more and more and more as I played it.
I've decided, like, if I were going to spend like the $5 to $8 grand it would take to get one of those tables, I'd go after that Vault Spider-Man in a fucking heartbeat. I love that table. Like, I mean, I like the
So
Spider-Man
is it
table
the
anyway.
same as the Spider-Man 3
It
one?
plays
It
exactly
just-
the same as Spider-Man
it
3,
actually
except
has
it's
good-
all they redid the comic art. It's
so
all,
it has good design on it.
it's all Mark Bagley artwork everywhere
Yeah.
and stuff. So.
Nice.
And they have like the super duper version of that one,
Mhm.
and it looks really really nice.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Well, I will make the trip up there at some point.
Well, we're already talking about going again soon.
Yeah.
yeah,
Now I
and
just have to be here for a weekend.
we will definitely go to Southern Soul again.
Yes.
But we are going to go early.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
So
We'll
we
do
can
the
get-
lunch thing.
Yeah, because they were out of
Ribs.
food.
They were out of ribs and chicken for the most part.
Really?
apparently
and-
ribs are the first thing to go.
Yeah.
Like if their brisket was that good and ribs is what they're known for, it's like holy shit.
Well, yeah, my parents were telling me about a sauerbraten place that's like in DeLand.
Mhm.
But they only have sauerbraten on Sundays,
Oh.
and like you have to get there before they open and be in line because everyone that gets there orders the sauerbraten immediately, and like so they got there like place opened at 3 and they got there at 4, and they were already out of sauerbraten.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Why? You sell out every time. Why not just make more sauerbraten?"
It's like I don't think they are making it there. It's like a food truck. It's like the Burn Ends place we went to, where it's just like they make the food for the day, and then if they're out, they're out. But like when we were there, we were sitting right next to the register, and people kept coming in. You know, it's like, oh, we're out of ribs, and then people will go, oh no.
Yeah, but I
and-
mean, but at the same time, like, would Franklin's be as popular as it was if they had all the brisket you could eat, or is it the like novelty of the
There's-
scarcity, like
there's
you know,
that.
like lining up and
Yeah.
it being an experience?
Oh, so it's like Nintendo systems.
It is.
Exactly.
It's. I mean,
You
it's
want one,
artificial
can't have
scarcity.
one.
But also, there's only so much you can put on a smoker.
Sure.
Until you can buy a bigger smoker, and
Yeah.
smoked meat takes a certain amount of time.
I
Like,
still think they're smoking the meat in that one next door that looked like a gas station.
that's the prep room. Like
Okay.
it's the
Smoking
prep
the
room, and
meat.
I think there's probably the smokers are out back or something. But like Franklin's, I haven't been there to see it, but I've seen on TV the way Franklin's is set up, and they've got a giant room full of smokers, and they put like 600 pounds of brisket, and that's all they can manage to put in their smokers. So there are actual hard limits, unfortunately, but
Like that Salt Lick place, I was kind of like Franklin's, sort
Yeah.
of like you have to get there before they open, but that place was just that was. I mean, it reminded me of it was like a barbecue compound.
yeah,
Because it was like multiple
jam-packed with
buildings,
meat.
and there's a smoker building over here and a smoker building over there, and it's like you could watch it and watch walk in and watch them smoking it. It's like it was just it was like an experience. It was like this is welcome to Barbecue Ranch,
Yeah.
the new flavor from Doritos.
Yeah, sign me up to go to Barbecue Ranch. I want Hey Dude, but Barbecue Ranch. Their burn ends were really good the next day, even.
I'm a fan of burnt ends.
Yeah, I got the last half pound of burn ends that they had for the night, and we got there
was
at like
the end of
8.
the burn ends.
It was the end of the day, yeah.
Well, no, I mean it wasn't that late on a Saturday.
It was.
No, but
they
they-
were closing in like 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
were they?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They weren't open late. They were only open till 8 or whatever.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't seem that late to me, and I well,
It was early
We'll get-
for us, but
yeah.
yeah.
We'll
should
get there.
podcast.
We'll get there early.
Yeah, we'll do the lunch
Yeah,
thing.
ton of podcasts.
Yep. All right.
Burn ends.
Barbecue.
Burn ends.
Pinball.
I like
Pinball.
meat.
Brunswick. Stew.
La month.
La Month.
Brunswick Studio.
All right, and welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey, BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 464.
Nice.
Palindromes. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
Hey, welcome back, Mackie.
Hey,
Thanks.
Mackie.
Good to be back.
welcome back.
Special guest,
Hey, buddy.
Mackie.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Sure, you know what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast?
Yes.
What? We go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote movie. Quote-unquote movie. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Words.
We watch ourselves a movie.
Some call it a movie.
One of those new talkies.
Try that again. So what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast is we go to watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They go 1 to 5 Jacksons and Robot Jocks. However, there are bad movies, and stay away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, and giant bags of trash.
Garbage.
Boo.
Don't like them.
Sack 'em up and take 'em to the road.
Yeah.
Get in the bin.
Yeah.
So we are wrapping up La April.
Yes.
April.
La April.
Farewell,
L.A.
April.
April.
April. L. April.
It was a good idea. I just don't think we ever really gelled on how we're supposed to say La
Oh no,
April.
we knew. We
L'April?
just have been fucking with it the entire time
L'April.
because we can't
Yeah.
leave anything alone
So-
in service of jokes.
So we watched Silence of the LAMs.
Yes.
Yeah, you might have heard this bad movie.
Noted bad movie. Silence of the Lame.
LAMs.
Dr. Hansen.
Or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
See, this is why we
Another
brought you
well-known
in.
bad
We
movie.
needed someone to fill that chair and do these jokes.
Next
Jokes.
week we're watching Manhattan Hunter, I guess.
There's no LA in that. What?
Well, it won't be L April next month.
Oh, man. How is
Hunter.
Lapril already over?
Yeah, we're gonna go into Manhattan.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. We're
So
wrapping.
what did we watch?
I don't know. Jokes.
We watched Born in East La.
Born in
yeah, we
East
did.
LA.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
1987's Born in East LA.
Yes.
Would you like a plot summary? Because
Please.
you're still
Yeah.
making me read these?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Come on, do it.
When a native-born American citizen of Mexican descent is mistakenly deported to Mexico, he has to risk everything to get back home.
Sure.
See,
Everything, but
Yeah, risk.
this isn't like Sophie's
life.
Choice. This is like
He has inconvenienced a great deal along
Sure.
the way, but he doesn't sacrifice anybody or anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's Cheech. It's
See.
Cheech Marin.
Yeah.
Hey, it's cheap.
It's kind of like his first Chongless thing, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's branching out.
It's Tommy Chong. Not in this at all.
No.
But
However.
starring, written, and directed by Cheech Marin.
Cheech Marin. Yeah. Who's been in a lot of extra stuff. Spy Kids 1 through 3.
Yeah.
And Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
Chuck loves that movie.
Chuck's favorite.
I fucking hate it.
Paul Rodriguez is in it.
I thought you were gonna say Paul Rudd for a second. I was confused.
Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah, let's watch a clip from Paul Rudd in this movie.
That's like a mad fold.
Paul Rodriguez. From DC Cab.
Yeah.
The role he's most well known for.
Absolutely.
Daniel Stern from Get Crazy and Leviathan.
Leviathan.
Yes.
I think it's
Leviathan.
Leviathan.
L.E. Viathan.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. Camila Lopez of
Right.
Dolman
yes.
and Jan Michael Vincent, may he rest in peace,
Uh-huh.
of Hooper, Alienator, Vigilante Force, and White Line Fever.
Is that Hooper?
Correct.
Hooper is what I thought you said. Pooper.
Yeah.
No, he said Hooper.
He had one.
Hooper.
Okay.
He had a pooper.
Hooper.
Everyone has a pooper. Chuck.
Everyone.
Yes.
Hoopers.
Hooper.
Okay.
That had Burt Reynolds in it.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah,
it
it's
sure
correct.
did.
And it's
Yeah.
a fucking awesome
Yeah.
movie.
It is a pretty damn
It's-
good
yeah,
movie.
it's a pretty funny movie.
Jan Michael Vincent, who is in this for a grand total of about 90 seconds.
Are you saying Jan Michael Vincent?
I believe it's Van Michael Jensen.
It's not Vanuary, guys.
Jan Hammer, Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah, well, he's actually in it more in the TV version.
Correct.
Yeah,
Sure.
We did not watch.
We watched the theatrical version because it comes in at under 90 minutes.
Right.
Also, I mean, we respect the source material.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. We've watched director's cuts before
have,
of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Sometimes I don't know.
I don't think the TV version is a director's cut. I think we had to cut stuff out for TV, and so
Okay.
here's 20 minutes we found. That's usually how TV versions
We're
work.
respecting the artist's original vision.
No.
Yeah. It's probably worth noting this movie goes some places. So
Yeah.
Mexico.
I'm gonna give a little precautionary thing.
Oh.
Because this movie is unfortunately still relevant. in a lot of ways.
More relevant.
Probably more relevant in a lot of
Yeah,
ways.
sure.
And if you don't want, I hesitate to use the word politics, dancing into your bad movie podcast, this might not be the episode for you. Is all I'm saying.
Don't get political.
I'm not saying we're going to get
Which
political.
means don't say something I disagree with.
I'm not.
Don't do it.
The intention is not
political.
to be political. I'm saying there may be some correlation with
Right.
modern day things happening with this movie.
It's a movie about
a thing.
a
Illegal
person of Mexican
immigration.
descent who gets deported
Yeah.
Unfairly.
unfairly
Yeah.
to Mexico just because he looks Mexican, and it's told from his point of view,
Yeah.
written and directed by him. So,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah. I mean,
there's
but
some commentary in
when
there.
I say this movie goes some places, it's because
It's because it goes to Mexico.
it goes to Mexico. Yes, it's because it's like several styles of movie in one. Because the beginning, I feel like, lulls you into a false sense of like this is going to be a Cheech and Chong movie without Chong, because the beginning of the movie is he wakes up and it's like he has a crazy household. He lives with his mom and his sister and her 2 kids, I think, maybe more. We only saw 2. She's like constantly giving him little like weird things to do, like here, take this money to the bank. Also, go pick up your cousin. You've never met him before. Da da da. And then he's like, all right, I'm off to pick up my cousin and then go to work. And then it's like there's an extended period where he sees a attractive lady walking down the street, and it's mostly over the credits, but it's wacky, like look, a lady, you know, kind of things, you know, like
Yes.
for
Entirely accurate.
for a long period of time, including like walking up to everybody and be like, hey, did you see lady and red-haired lady in green lashes? Everyone's like, over there. We were all checking her out. So it's like I'm just saying it starts off super wacky because it's like, hey, this is all the kind of like lowbrow Cheech and Chong humor you're used to.
Well, he's got a convertible Volkswagen Bug that's pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just it's a silly opening 5 to 10 minutes where you're just like, oh, okay, this is just going to be silly. There's just not someone there standing next to Cheech saying things.
And it turns out that, like, you know, he goes to work at his mechanic shop, and said lady was there to pick up her car, which it's weird. He probably should have recognized it because he was working on her car and whatever. But yeah. There are jokes to be made because she's French for some reason. Because I guess that's where sexy ladies are from. You know,
She's from France.
Oh, they come from France.
Right.
Sexy lady.
I want to note that actress is also a BMFcast alum.
Yeah.
From Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Noise.
Okay.
Well,
4.
what is her?
4. I like that you just tack on that 4. The one that means nothing to.
What is her name?
Adrian Barbeau.
Neath Hunter.
Neath Hunter.
Neath
Neath.
Hunter.
Very neat.
Like she's Ice-T's niece.
Oh,
Neath.
it's like, is it above something? Nah, it's neat.
There you go.
Nay, 'tis neath.
Do you want that on the rocks? No, I want it neath.
Yes.
Yeah, all these things. But there's jokes there. I mean, all right. I'm going to pause one more time just to make it a little aside. This kind of breaks our rule. We tend to stay away from comedies because we can't make jokes if all we're doing is telling you the jokes they made, right?
Right.
Yeah,
also,
but we're doing all right
And
so far.
also, they usually like go over like a fart in an elevator,
Yes.
Right.
like in
Yeah.
quote unquote
Yeah.
bad movies.
If it's a
Yes.
bad movie, it's a
Yeah.
bad comedy. It's like bad animation. You've got nothing. Like,
And
it's-
some comedy ages poorly.
right, absolutely.
Yes.
And all this does because it's just like good lady, baby, you know, stuff, and that's not great.
With him spending the first 5 minutes catcalling her.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, some of the things that happen as a result of that are funny. Like there's a there's a great gag where so everybody that sees this lady is like, oh, and there's a fire truck driving by her, and all of them turn and go, ooh.
Well, it's the big hook and ladder. So there's
Yeah.
the guy
Yeah,
driving
right.
the back.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's, giant fire truck, and then because they're paying attention to this lady, they don't pay attention to the fact that traffic is stopped, so they slam on the brakes, and the guy in the back gets catapulted over the cab of the truck, and he just disappears. He's gone. Until about 2 scenes later when Cheech is driving by, and he's like, hey, did you see the girl in the... Apologies for the accent. Did you see the girl in the green dress with the red hair? And
It's
pans over
Or it's a
and
bunch of people trying to help the firemen out of the tree.
Yeah.
Which is a joke in and of
But
itself.
they stop and point, and he also points and then falls out of the tree. Yeah. But
Like, you
like
get a fireman out of the tree, wave.
he rolls out from under the car, and she's standing there waiting for her car, and she's like, "When will my black Peugeot be ready?" And he was like, "Oh, black Peugeot, I knew you were a natural redhead." It's like, okay, that's fine. The 5 minutes of hijinks were but then that joke is pretty good. So.
Yeah.
Which is basically this movie.
This is really just this is like they're jokes, but it's just an establishing scene. Like he's a mechanic.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Because like after
And we
that,
don't even really need, like...
other than he talks about it again a little bit later, like how he fell into that profession in a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is like I don't know how much he contributed to writing Cheech and Chong movies. I mean, they were very base stoner comedies. I'm saying I didn't know if like they were all 100% written by them or if they had other people.
There were some other people.
Yeah, that's what I
involved,
mean.
yeah.
So for this being probably his first solo screenplay, I'm guessing he follows screenwriting rules really well because it's like little things pay off later.
Yeah.
It sets up the fact that he plays guitar.
Right. Yeah. It's very good at doing that kind of thing of like, oh, the guy was delivering his fixed guitar, thus establishing that it's not weird that he just randomly picks up a guitar later. He mentioned, he is a mechanic, and it's brought back up like how he got into that job and all this stuff. But the catalyst of the movie is about to happen because he goes to pick up his cousin, who is Paul Rodriguez.
Yes.
And he's not there, and INS busts in to raid this
The
place.
toy factory.
The toy factory is pretty much populated or employed by nothing but so-called illegal immigrants.
So-called.
Well,
I mean, I don't know.
I
Their
know.
papers,
They
I'm
are...
s-
They're Mexicans. Are they illegal? We don't know.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
They run, so...
Yeah.
They don't seem to care about
because
who's there
No,
at all.
but he doesn't run, because why would he? And then someone drags him off. Like, come on, man.
And through hijinks, end up sticking him in a life-size teddy bear that's going through a. I guess it's going through a conveyor belt where it gets washed eventually, which is that's nice to know that there's a
Not
sanitization
true.
thing of toys
That's
eventually.
just- that's
Absolutely
just a
how it
movie
works.
construct.
Sure, I don't know.
That's
but-
just movie magic.
okay. Fine. So toys also have lots of poop on them. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
To bring that back to a conversation
that
that's
was
not on.
not on the
Yes.
actual
Toys
podcast.
are covered in herpes.
Yeah.
Every toy.
Sure.
Just rife with herpes.
Right.
Rife.
But yes, so Jan Michael Vincent, or Ian Michael Vincent, if you prefer, is there. As Chuck said, only because he was in the music video for the song.
Yeah.
like he
Which okay, we haven't pointed out yet. This was a song that was on a Cheech and Chong album a couple years earlier. They made a music video for it. Jan Michael Vincent was the same character in that. But that's what this movie is. It is literally based on the lyrics of that song. So anytime there's something that's not a lyric of that song, it's just some stretched out like, what is this? Why is this happening? But you got to have 90 minutes. You need 90 minutes for your movie. So
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So Jan Michael Vincent comes in and is like, "Hey, boy, what are you doing in that bear? Where are you from?"
and also paying off the decent screenwriting skills. They take a moment to show that because his mom handed him some cash that she wanted him to deposit, something happens and like kids break something in another room, so he walks off to deal with that and leaves his wallet behind, so he has no identification. Every little like action kind of has a consequence or a reason for happening later.
There's reasons this all happens. It's still contrived.
Oh, absolutely,
and
sure,
it's
sure.
like, oh god, but it's like, yeah, okay, fine. He doesn't have his
Yeah,
wallet.
he doesn't have his wallet, so they're just like, yeah. He's like, I'm American citizen. I was born in East LA. They're like, sure you were. Get on the bus.
Yeah.
And
They ask him who the president is.
yeah.
John Wayne.
Well,
Fuck you, get on the bus.
Well, he's
So
like
he's the
that.
guy
He's
that
like
was
the
in all the
cowboy
cowboy
movies.
movies.
Yeah. John Wayne.
Yep. It was more conceivable in the 80s to not give a fuck about politics.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
It was.
Also, I mean,
It was more conceivable 5 years ago to not give a shit about
Exactly,
politics.
I was gonna say, like, I
Funny.
mean, the thing is like, not to go too far outside our wheelhouse here, but it's very strange that there's no, you don't have to know anything about American government, how it works if you're born here, but you're required to if you want to come here. I'm just saying, like, we don't actually force that. Like, someone can't walk up to the street and go,
That's
like, "Who's the current
privilege
president?"
of being born in America, son.
That's my point. It's like no one can come up on the street and go like, "Who's the president?" And you can be like, "I don't know or care."
Who cares?
I mean, except like Billy Eichner will yell at you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'd ask about the president.
Or you could say, not my president.
right.
Sure.
Hashtag resist.
But anyway, so yes, he ends up on a bus,
Yep.
and being driven to the border, and like
Yeah.
he's going to be
And it's also
out.
noted he does not speak Spanish.
No.
Right, or very little.
I mean, he was
Yeah.
he was born in East LA, and his family had been there a while, so it's just like
Yeah, and his-
Spanish was not their first
He was
language.
born in East LA. His parents were born in East LA, and his parents' parents were born in East LA, as we find out later in the movie. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah, but yeah, it's basic Spanglish that they're speaking in the house. You know, like
Yeah.
he knows some things, but not conversational. Speak.
Yeah, because everyone on the bus is talking to him, making fun of him, and he's just like, "Huh, what?" You know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think this is the point of the movie where you probably want to talk about it because like the moment he arrives at like the border customs whatever, it's just
The whole sequence of him like getting arrested and being on the bus and then going through basically, the whatever, I don't know if it's INS, whatever line it is where you have to, immigration where you have to be like, no, let me back in. It's fucking infuriating.
It is.
And I'm sure that's by design. And it's kind of like there's a point where I was just like, is this a comedy? Because I know it like earlier everything had been played pretty broad, and by here it's just like, man, fuck everybody right now. This is pissing me off.
Here's the thing: is that I think at the time in the late '80s when this came out, the audience for this movie was probably predominantly white, and it would have been just like, oh, haha, look what they have to go through.
Yeah.
Oh well, and now it's like
because the immigration guy pulls up someone else.
Yeah.
Like he tells him what his name is because he says, it's like his first name is what, like Guadalupe or something like that, and
Guadalupe Rudolph. Well, I don't remember what his last name.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh, 57 years old, arrested here, and he's like, no, I'm not 57. What are you talking about?
it's like, show me ID. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't have ID.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, sure, you're not 57. Also, you must be, Guadalupe Rodolfo Roble, because you gave me that name. Like your birth date doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And how dismissive they are of his claims. Like nobody gives a shit. Nobody in charge gives a shit.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And they say there's a payphone outside if you want to try and call.
Yeah. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
And I know it's important to the plot of the movie for nobody to give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's infuriating to see that's pretty likely
Sure.
the way things go. It's like, oh, no ID. You look Mexican. Get back to being a Mexican in Mexico. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I don't know if it's like just this trigger for me or something, but like wrongly accused people, like that shit like gets under my skin like nothing else.
Especially when you
Like,
have all the information.
Yeah, and nobody believes any of the actual information. Like
Right.
that stuff just drives me up the wall. So like sitting through these scenes is just like I was like, God damn it.
Well, it's not made it any better by the fact that he plays it like a bumbling idiot.
Yes.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's a little bit it's equally his fault. Like, I mean, he should have been like, "Hey, would you like my social security number?" Or
Mm-hmm.
something that's like, if I have this, which I, an adult should have memorized,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm saying, like,
But at the same
Yeah,
time,
it comes up later also he was in the military.
Right,
So,
yeah.
there's
That should have been the first thing he said.
yeah.
yeah, he's
Well,
like,
but at the
I
same
was
time-
of the troop.
yeah, right. You immediately go to the front of the line. And,
Right.
Actually, no, because he's still brown. So
Yeah, he's not a white
Yeah.
troop, so nobody
Right.
gives a shit about
Yeah,
him.
but still, like you should go to another line that has military computer access and just go, "Oh yeah, sorry."
But also, like, if you consider the fact that he went to pick up his friend, he got snatched up in an ICE raid.
INS. They weren't INS.
INS raid, yeah. No. Got snatched up in an INS raid, tossed on a bus. Nobody believes him. He doesn't speak the language of the place he's at. And he's been, rushed through and put into this completely foreign situation for him.
Well, like even the
What do you-
dude at the desk at INS is like, "I don't know who taught you to speak English so good, but you
Yeah.
get the hell away from me." It's
Yeah.
like,
It's that guy's job
Yeah.
to get the correct information, not just take one piece of information and then, cast you off by being a racist shithead.
Yeah.
yeah. So what I think what we're trying to say is that in 1987 when this came out, it was like, "Oh man, that sucks, haha," and now it's like, "This is a great injustice, and I must reach into the screen and solve this problem." Whereas in '87, you're just like, "Well, this is rife for comedy. Let's see what happens here."
I mean, to be fair, they played this card in a lot of like quote unquote lighthearted comedies. I mean, the immigration thing is the main running thread through Coneheads,
Sure.
for God's sakes.
Right.
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Yes.
Michael McKean and David Spade have a hard-on for catching illegal aliens, so
Me
it's like,
too, yes.
I'm just saying, like, it was
They're
a,
gonna have to go back to France.
It was a thing, so.
Yeah, I know. It's
But yes, it is frustrating to watch. But like I said, he's not helping his situation by just being like,
yeah.
But it's just wrong.
I will. On the other hand, though, I think he does. Actor Cheech does a good job in that he's not Cheech in this. He's not his cartoony Mexican stereotype character in this. He's a very just normal spoken dude. Just
And
like
he
I gotta
never
go
comes off as being high or anything like that.
No, he's just like I got to go to work and I got all these errands to run, and it's just there's nothing about the character that is Cheech like. And that's interesting, especially so soon after that, for him to want to just do this. Well, I'm just going to be a normal guy, and I got swept up in this thing. So
Yeah, but eventually he goes out to use the payphone, tries to make a collect call, gets all the way through to like his answer machine at home, and then is like, "Oh yeah, my mom and sister were going to Fresno," and all that's. We've been watching Paul Rodriguez get his way to
Paul
the house.
Rodriguez arrives at the factory and is
Right.
like, and
Yeah.
he doesn't speak any English.
no.
But he's asking. He's subtitled mostly, and he's like, "Where is everybody?" And
The factory guy gets him to their house. He tries to get in. The guy across the street who is renting the place that the mom is getting money for or whatever eventually gets him in, but is
It's not really
offering-
explained how or why.
No, and he's like dressed as a priest, but he's got like a seafood restaurant novelty Jesus bib on.
Yeah.
Like there's some weird money making scheme to put there's
he's
a weird
he's like an altar boy,
yeah.
but his altar boy gi or whatever it is, I don't know, has a screen printed Jesus on it.
Right.
If it was a gi, they could fight back the priests that try to touch them.
Well, yeah, I just don't know what the fuck they're called. I've never been Catholic.
Frock.
Sure.
And I like that I don't understand the joke, but it's hilarious to me that he offers to sell him used lottery tickets. he just opens up like this stream of lottery tickets falls out of his hand like, you want to buy some used lottery tickets? Like, why? Why would anyone want to buy used lottery tickets? It's dumb.
But so you've got. I guess we've got to set up all the dumb jokes because the very first thing that Mom showed him in the morning when he woke
Right.
up was that she got like one of those
like a lenticular
lenticular Jesus. So like he's it's
But
Christ.
it's like crucified
It's
Jesus.
crucified
Yeah.
Jesus, but like you look one way and his eyes are open. You go like halfway and he's winking at you, and you go all the way and his eyes are closed. And so like she's
Cheech doesn't like this.
She's hung it over the little phone alcove, because we used to have those in houses when we had
Right.
telephones.
Yep.
And Cheech mentions this of like, you're covering up the phone, and she's like, I just want to see how it looks. I'll move it later, and ends up putting it back there. So Paul Rodriguez shows up not speaking any English. Somehow gets his way into the house, gets in because of weird, lobster bib altar boy guy, I guess, with used lottery tickets. And then when he calls, like he just immediately thinks it's Jesus talking to him. So
Yeah, but Cheech basically is on the answer machine. It's me. I'm in Tijuana. Something else, and then
Like, give
Paul
me my
Rodriguez
wallet.
is like,
What do you say?
yeah, Jesus,
Jesus,
Jesus is in Tijuana.
yeah.
Yeah. So we go back to him 2 or 3 more times where
Right.
he's like hanging out in the house watching the Playboy channel or whatever, and the phone rings. And there's one weird. I don't even understand the phone call he gets, which is just like, "Hey, give me a beer." It's like, who's calling them and asking for that? But he has to go and get Jesus a beer, and he puts
A
it
tall
on.
boy.
Yeah. So there's 2 or 3 scenes of that, and then that's it. There's
Yeah.
no resolution to that whatsoever. Never see him again.
I assume his
It's in the
mom-
TV cut.
I assume his mom came home and
Yeah.
took care of him.
It's like, what have you been doing?
But yeah, so he's not getting any help. Like
No.
no one's like gonna get his wallet or anything
Yeah.
to prove that he's a citizen. So
He
he gets angry at the payphone because
Yeah.
like no one's there, and then like he gets arrested for beating up a payphone.
Right. Yeah.
So he gets menaced in prison, and
Menaced.
well, I mean it's a scam because like
Sure.
there's this. He's like the book guy. He's the guy pushing the book cart around. Mm-hmm. But his name's Feo
Yeah.
because he's ugly, and
It's Tony Plana, who
Yeah.
was he was El Guapo's guy in Three Amigos, and he's been in a million.
Yeah,
other
like
things.
you recognize him
El
immediately.
Jefe.
Yes.
Which is funny because he's not the chief. But anyway, but yeah, it's
Yes,
like
El Guapo.
yeah, so it's a scam. Like these guys are menacing him, and then like he's like, oh yeah, you give me $200. I like you, $100, and
Yeah.
I'll get you out of the situation.
He goes back and forth. There's,
Eventually he's like,
some-
fine, I'll get you the money, whatever. And then like the guard comes along, and is like, we can only keep you for 24 hours for beating up a payphone, so get out of here. And then he basically tells that guy to go fuck himself for
Well, he
not
says, "You owe me $100."
Yeah,
and he
here's-
goes,
here's-
"Well, here's one. Fuck you." Gives him the finger.
Yeah.
yeah, and walks out. So
Yep.
now he's free, but he's in Tijuana. He's in Mexico. And
Yep.
So very quickly we're introduced to Daniel Stern because he's just walking down the street and Daniel Stern is having a freak out because he just let somebody go from his bar, and he's just like, our first introduction is just him in mid freak out, just like, damn it, son of a bitch, can't find anybody good around here, and it's just like, hey, you want a job? And then
That's why you're having trouble finding good help, because you just pick the next guy that comes along.
Hey,
after
what about
fire
you? You
somebody.
could do this job.
but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the second act of this movie is he starts, like, Daniel Stern is like he's basically a criminal who's escaped to Tijuana and is like running a bar trying to,
He's running everything.
yeah, but
Like,
he's just like, first he hires Cheech just to be like hey, come on in here, this is the best bar,
Yeah.
come guy, and
pussy lovers.
yeah, if he'd just done that, the place would be packed.
He learned when
Yeah.
he got to From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
But I like that his first two attempts at it are just like, would you like to come inside the bar? And people are just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
he-
he's a coyote. He's a criminal. He's all these things, but he likes Cheech.
He's also a
and-
legitimate businessman.
sure.
Yeah.
As legitimate as businesses in Tijuana can be,
Run by
he
Daniel
is-
Stern, yes.
Yes. He has a sweet hammock set up next to the highlight.
I just
place.
realized we may not be doing Silence of the LAMs, but we are at the Red Dragon bar. here.
Yes, yes.
we are.
it's
Is the
Dragon
Rojo.
Yeah, Dragon Rojo bar.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah, there's a connection.
Yeah.
Um,
But he's
Yeah,
after he works a couple hours, he takes a ticket up to Daniel Stern. He's like, "Oh wow, 48 admittances. That boy, you're really good. That's $4.80."
yeah, he is constantly fucking with him on the math. He's
Yeah.
like, well, first, like the very first thing he's like, I think he's just like asked, like, can you get me to the border? And he's like, yeah, I can do that. It costs you $400, but I like you 50% off, $350.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like that's not, and then
no.
he dicks him over on like the head count math because he's like, I'm gonna pay you 10 cents a person. You get to come in here, and then it's like it's 48 people, and he's like, cool, here's your 42 cents or $4.20 or whatever. It's like,
and also the tacos and the beer you just had are
Right.
coming out of that.
Yeah. but yeah, he basically just cons him into doing a bunch of different little mini jobs. Like, I mean, at one point, it's like they basically make him do every stereotypical thing. Like they actually eventually send him out to sell oranges.
Yeah.
And
He's selling
what
just
else?
trinkets to people who were maybe attempting to get across the border.
yeah, he's basically doing like, do you want like cigarettes, cigars, passports, green
Passport,
cards, green cards?
Yeah. Here you go. You are now
If he
Fernando
was-
Valenzuela. You had 21 wins last year.
That's a baseball joke that I get.
I got that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the process of this, he meets a waitress who works there who's pretty, and it's the lady from Dolman.
Dolman.
And yeah, it's a midsection of I don't understand how much time has passed because he seems to be working a lot.
And so his family was going to be in Fresno for a week.
2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was just a week.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I'm
so
guessing that's
it's 2 weeks, so it's half a
Yes.
month.
Yeah.
Un fortnight.
but it seems like an awful long time.
It does.
because they are just all over the land, everywhere.
It's like
And there's no like night scenes. Like you never see him like go to bed. So
Right.
it's like how often?
Where is he living?
Yeah,
Yeah.
none of that.
and he only has one outfit, so that's all you see him in
Yeah.
generally, except for a couple scenes where he's wearing a special outfit for something.
But along the way, like Daniel Stern, like he won't budge on like he won't play the get me across the border and then I'll send you money because I actually live there. So he's like, if you don't have the money, you could try what is it called the canyon run or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the canyon run.
But yeah, which is basically just like
Run.
at the start of the day, run for the border, and they can't catch everybody. So
He's like, see those guys down there? They're chickens.
so we get this we get this like montage of him like trying different things, and I mean it's mostly really good visual gags because
There's one where he jumps into a bush. Like he's been walking around with a bush backpack on his back, and he keeps hiding. And then he gets to a bigger bush where there's a guy coming, and he just dives into this hole. And then the guy passes by, and he's like, "Yeah, all right." And then suddenly this whole bush starts moving, and it's just been set up in the back of this INS truck, and the truck just drives away. He's like, "What?"
That's such a good gag.
It's a really good visual gag.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so all that.
oh
he
yeah,
just-
well, he also did a football one where he like got a bunch of guys and like
Yeah.
did a football play like
the
ready,
annexation of Puerto Rico.
ready break, and then
it
like,
works.
he works
Almost.
and he gets a slow motion like yeah, and then this INS guy just comes from out of nowhere and like literally actually tackles him.
Yeah.
But
And at some point, he falls in with the mariachi band. Like they're sitting in the bar, and there's Well, it's not quite a mariachi band.
It's just a band.
Yeah, it's a band.
It's just people playing for other people
Yeah.
at a table.
And they're like, we want to hear Summertime Blues. And the band doesn't know how to play Summertime Blues. And
He's like, wait,
Cheech is like,
I got this.
I know how to play Summertime Blues. So he falls in with them and tries to like change them into a weird rock and roll. And I don't know where they got the money or where
I
the
think
time
that was
happened.
entirely a fantasy sequence.
think it was
I
a
don't
fantasy
think that
sequence?
actually happened.
Well, they're all dressed up like Dayglow 80s.
They've all got heavy metal
Mexican-
T-shirts on, and everything's
Yeah.
fuzzy.
Well, before that, they have a because they do Summertime Blues, and then like everyone starts to get into it, and the band starts to like pick up the rhythm and play along a little bit, and they're like, man, yeah, if we just did this, if we played songs people know, we're gonna make so much more money. And then he's kind of teaching them how to do some riffs outside. sitting
Oh,
on the
he's trying to
steps.
teach him
Yeah, and
Twist and
Twist
Shout.
and
Well,
Shout.
it's funny because like he starts. It's just how generic old rock songs were, but he's playing Twist and Shout, and they're like, "Oh, we got this! It's La Bamba," and it's literally the same rhythm.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
They're like, he's like, "No, it's not that. It's like this," and then
there's
then
one.
he's like, "Yeah, this is what He's trying to communicate because that's the other thing is like through the passage of time, he is picking up more Spanish. Like he's becoming acclimated to living here, and it's
right.
I don't know, just for a comedy like this, I feel like it's really well told. Like it's not like in your face. It's just
It just kind of flows,
Yeah,
and
he's just like-
things happen, and you
like,
think, well, maybe
well-
that's not important.
well, like he's recalling words and like, oh yeah, like this is how you'd say this, and
Yeah.
then the guy's like, oh okay, yeah, we got you, and then
because there's
because that's where he says like, what you're doing is good, what I'm doing is good, but what if we put them together? We could be this new thing, and that's where it breaks into the possible dream sequence where they're playing purple haze.
Right. But that just cuts at
Yeah.
one point, and it's back to them standing out in front of some,
Well, it ends with him
some
doing the
bodega.
"help me" part because he's tried to turn on the lights, and they start smoking.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Help me,
Well,
help me!"
well, they've got this weird. Like all of a sudden they have like the guy has. I love that the guy has a drum kit, but it's all made of like 5-gallon
Trash,
water
yeah.
bottles and trash can lids and stuff. But
Well,
it's set
like
up.
Stomp.
Yeah, but it's set up like on a drum rack,
Yes.
and stuff, and like as you said, like everyone has weird neon like zebra stripes.
I very much liked that the guy with the eye patch suddenly had a glam eye
Yes.
patch.
Yeah. There's a pirate accordion player.
Yeah.
I was like squeeze box. I was like nobody calls it a squeeze box anymore.
Get your squeeze box.
Yeah.
So
but it's they suddenly have like a pyrotechnics thing that's made out of like pinata paper.
And also trash.
And trash. And he tries to turn on the light / the pyrotechnics.
yeah,
and,
I think this was just an aside, just a hey, what if kind of
But
thing.
then
gag.
again they're playing on the street, and like this German couple starts walking up, and he immediately transitions them into like the
Roll Out the
mariachi
Barrel.
music, what they were playing into like the polka version of Roll Out the
Yeah.
Barrel in German, and
And man, they are in it, like these guys are like, oh yay!
You are saying German to us. Yeah.
I mean to be fair, it's a very easy transition from mariachi to polka, but
yes,
Yes.
and it works. Like they're just like, oh, this is the best, and they give them a handful of money, and
They give him a bunch of money.
Yeah.
They give everybody like $40.
yeah. And so okay, before this happened, there was a montage really where he had to sell oranges. And he's not out there long. He gives an orange to a kid, and then the mom drags the kid back and says, "No steal." And he's like, "No, it's fine. Just take the orange. No big deal." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." And then he's like, "Just take the whole cart of oranges. I feel bad for you. Just go."
You can be an orange seller now.
Yeah.
I've given you this business that was
Yeah.
not mine to give away.
So there's that, and then there's all the mariachi band
and the
stuff.
girl Dolores sees him
Yes.
doing this.
They had
Yeah.
had a little little minor falling out when God, there's so many
Yeah, there's a
fucking
lot of
sequences
things
going
happening at the same time.
There is a moment where he has been given the task by Daniel Stern to teach these Chinese people
Right.
how to be Mexicans so they can blend in East LA.
Yeah.
And it's a goofy little montage where he's trying to get them all to say, "Orale vatos, what's happening?"
Right.
And so
So
that
they have
goes
jobs
on.
lined up in East LA. You just got to get them there.
Right, just got to get them there so that and get them to blend in. But during that, he and the girl are talking, and they get into
well,
a little.
he asks like where she's from because she's not
Right.
from Mexico, and she's like, I'm from El Salvador, and he's like, oh, I've known some El Salvadorians, like they're all disco
bunnies.
bunnies.
Disco bunnies. Yeah.
I was like, honeys or bunnies? Yeah.
And she's like, Dicko
Dicks-
Boonies.
So bunny.
Yeah. And he's like, no. And he explains what they are, and it's not offensive or anything, but
No.
she is like, how dare you, and throws a bucket of water
Right.
on him.
So
that's
fast-
their little falling
Yes.
out.
Fast forward to the cart of naranjas, and they said that the most white way I could.
The cart of naranjas.
The cart of naranjas.
How do you order at a Mexican restaurant? Just out of curiosity.
Point to the menu.
Can I have the chimichanga with jalapeno?
By numero.
Okay.
I'd
So
like
you don't
a-
like try and do the pronunciation
I would
correctly?
like. Oh no, I do. I would like a
I like a
numero
burrito.
dos. Numero dos, por favor.
You have to
I
be
need-
careful because you can't be that
Yeah.
character from Veep that's just like she talks normal and then they're like Santiago. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, stop. Don't dip into it for one
I
word.
try to get the pronunciation correct
Okay.
in my most natural voice.
So you're not like, I'll have some con carne.
Yeah, no, I can't even roll my R's like that, unfortunately. Yeah, not a thing I can do.
No.
So yeah, cart of oranges. The girl across the street, unbeknownst to him, sees him doing this nice thing for this
Doing
little
good
family.
deeds.
Well, she was also
And she's
impressed
like,
that he played music too.
Right.
Yeah. All these things
She's
are
like-
like building him back up.
Yes.
maybe he's actually not a scumbag.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
And
have
so they
no idea what happens.
Yeah,
next.
after he's playing the German, playing the polka song, she asks him, "How do you know German?" He's
Well,
like,
he's like, come have a beer with me. So they go have a beer.
Mhm.
And that's when he explains why I was in the army. I was in Germany for 4 years, and then I got married and stayed behind for another 2. And she's like, "Oh, you're married?" And he's like, "No,
Yeah.
not anymore." And she's like, "Oh, that's good."
Well, you come over for dinner.
Yeah, because he's like, "Would you like to stop having this beer and go have dinner?" And she's like, "Yes, you will come to my house."
I do. I mean, we don't want to recap too many of the jokes, but I like the one he says here because he.
oh God!
He goes like, "What? You don't want me to say it?"
No.
It's good.
It's the best joke because it's just so
yeah. It just
out of
that's-
nowhere.
yeah. But he goes, "We had a bit of a falling out, my wife and I," and then he goes like, "Well, we had a falling out, then I fell it back in and then fell it back out a couple more times."
Oh, it was. It didn't work out.
Yeah,
I worked it back in again.
that's what it was. Yeah.
And she's just like, "Okay," and she's just like, "Forget it." But we are all laughing our asses off. at this
That's
dumb
that's
joke.
my other favorite thing is that like with Paul Rodriguez, even though he's like insignificant to the entire plot, basically, is that they subtitle almost everything he says, and he keeps saying "K," and they subtitle every single time. I'm like, yeah, I got that. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know why I find basic words in other languages when they're subtitled to be hilarious.
Yeah.
Like if you don't know ya or da or
Yeah.
si.
Well, Spanish class wasn't mandatory very many places
No.
in 1987.
I know, just
covering all their bases. This is a big studio motion picture here.
Yep.
But yeah, so she invites him to a date later that day at 7:30 at her house.
It's really weird because it
See.
seemed like it was already almost 7:30 anyway. Like why they were splitting up, I was like, "Oh, this is just for comedy." You're just like, "Why aren't you both getting on a bus and going back to her place?" She's like, "Here's my address. Come by at 7:30."
Well, she still
Yeah,
had to
she-
go work.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
She
She
was
had
taking a
9
break.
jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was taking a break from her job. And
So anyway,
Yeah. And she told him, you got to take a bus to get there.
Yeah.
It's not close.
yeah.
so she goes home. He's walking that direction, and is accosted by the 2 guys who were in the jail cell with him, who are just like, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" and just start pummeling him. And then it's like, holy shit, what a callback this is, because like suddenly they're getting pelted with oranges, and it's the
Yeah,
the
because we're
family.
talking about the orange thing, but the orange thing's like a good half hour
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
this
yeah.
happens.
Yes, because like they've done the whole musical thing, like the playing with the band and everything.
There's so
that's
much stuff
gone.
in this,
Yeah, I mean,
in this second act.
Yeah. So like he's getting pummeled to death, and then all of a sudden those guys just started getting pelted with oranges, and you pan over, and it's the family just whipping oranges out of the shopping cart, and they're just like, "Thanks, you know,
It's Deus Ex Mexican.
Oh, God damn it.
you got there."
I always said Mexican because it would have worked better with Machina, but
I understand.
I didn't want to be that guy who says it properly.
See,
Yes.
And we were like, way to go, Cheech. Like,
Yeah.
you really, like, I will do a thing here that will pay off later, and it will be, it's, you think about all the movies we've watched where it's just like, someone just shit out a screenplay, and it's like, there was some care put into this. Like someone actually thought about, and I know he's a talented comedian. He made $1 bazillion doing comedy albums and touring and everything like that, but like setups and payoffs, that's pretty good. Good job.
There's lots of other people that are funny on stage that can't write a screenplay to save their lives.
Right.
And one doesn't mean the other.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm also impressed that, in 1987, Universal said, yes, you can write, direct, and star in a movie based on your parody song. That'll be great.
it must have been a hit.
What, the
the
song?
song. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the song was smash. It was all over the place. So, But yeah, so
I
anyway.
don't remember much of '87.
But anyway,
he's-
he gets to the
Well,
date.
this is back in
Yeah.
'84.
I don't remember anything
Yeah.
of '84.
he gets to the date late because he's immediately getting yelled at by her. She's like, I said 7:30. Where have you been? You're just like all the men. Blah,
What
blah, blah,
country
blah,
are you from
Yeah.
that you can be late? I've been waiting all night.
And he just goes and grabs a beer and puts it on his head and is just like, ow. And
Yeah.
she's like, oh no, what's wrong?
I got beat up.
Yeah. So that mends
like-
all wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she kind of tells her backstory for a little bit. How first day she got there, her purse was stolen, and then she basically ended up having to work. And she thought she'd be able to get to America quickly, and she's been there 5 months now, and she's
Yeah,
not
she
any
doesn't-
closer than she was.
Yeah, she doesn't want to go until she has stuff built up, so that she's not broke the second she gets there.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'll go in and
Which is
warm
not a
up
great
the-
plan. I will.
Well,
I mean, just wage comparison wise,
yeah, I mean, you're going to be there a while building up a quote-unquote nest egg, and then as soon as you get to America, it's going to last you 7 minutes.
That's what I mean.
So,
Especially going to L.A.
yeah. So she's
Even
like,
in $87.
yeah, but she's like, I'll go back in and heat up your food, and it'll be fine. And she comes back out, and he's asleep. And the thing this is a weird thing that doesn't happen, is that before he went, he talked to Daniel Stern, and Daniel Stern was like, all right, tomorrow's the morning. We're putting you on the truck, and you're going back to L.A. 7 a.m. Be there, and then he falls asleep at her house on this chair, and you're like, oh no, he's not gonna be there in time. What hijinks will result from how evil is Daniel Stern gonna get? But no, they just cut to the truck, and they're there.
Yep.
It's like, well, all right, good on
Yeah,
you.
I was very convinced that Daniel Stern was going to fuck him over.
Yeah. But no, he goes and pays the coyote guy.
well,
He actually pays extra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daniel Stern is actually angry because he was told that it was going to be $350. I think he said it was going to be $300, and he was going to charge him more.
Yeah.
But it's like he's like, God damn it, it's $500 a person. He's like, well, but I cover the extra $150 for you because it's called a going away present. So because Chichi came in on $350.
Wait a minute. So the original thing he said, it's $500, but there's a half off special, so I'll let you
For $400.
for $400.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, $350.
Right.
And then
So I think
Yeah.
he was like, all right, you made
It'll
it
be
to $350, but then he went to the guy at the truck, and the driver was like
Right.
$500. So he was like, what the fuck, dude? So he covered the $150. And he's just like, look, when you get back, send me $150. So Cheech is like, great. So
well, no,
no,
he
no,
says
he-
it's a
said
going
it's
away
a going
present.
away
that's
present.
right.
$150.
That's right. Okay.
He
So
turns
Daniel
he
Stern-
just turns into a good guy.
yeah, because
He's always been a good guy. He just has a strange way of showing it.
they bonded. They were buddies.
Yeah, he did tell him, like because Cheech asked him why he was there,
Yeah.
and he's like, well, those movies where they say if we make it to the border, that's it.
I made it to the border.
Yeah, made it to the border.
And Cheech is like, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
Probably don't want to know what you did in the U.S.
Yeah. So he gets on the truck. There's another couple there, and they didn't know it was going to be $500 a person. So the husband gets on the truck, and the wife is just standing there, left to scream and cry.
I think they were expecting it to be the half off price,
Yes.
the actual $250
Probably.
price. So
So anyway, he gets on. The wife is just there screaming and begging and pleading, and the guy's like, nope.
Yeah, because she says our children are already there.
Yeah. And they just keep cutting to Cheech, and you're like, okay, we know what's going to happen here. And the guy goes to slam the door down, and Cheech puts his foot out to stop the door, throws it back up, and lets the lady on in his place. And then just starts walking. And they're just like, hey, where are you going?
Determined walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then you cut to two Border Patrol guys who are just like, oh, you seen any yet? Nah, whatever. And then, like, they see him, like, Cheech comes up
Not
over
just that. Hold on. We gotta address it because like one guy's like, oh yeah, because they see Cheech come over the counter
Yeah.
or the counter the hill,
Yes.
and he's like, it's gonna be a couple minutes before he gets on here, and the guy's like, I'm gonna take a little nap.
Yeah.
And the
The
other
guy
guy's like,
outside the truck is
like, okay, so guy's sitting in the driver's seat, and the other guy's standing like by the front,
right there next to the open window
Yeah.
where he can talk to him.
and he's just like, I gotta take a piss.
Yeah.
Doesn't go around anywhere in the truck, just whips it out. And is gonna
Starts pissing on the tire.
piss on the
Turns
tire.
around right fucking there. I'd be like, get the hell away from me.
Also, I know it's not their car, but who the fuck ever pissed on their car intentionally?
I don't know.
A car that you have to operate. Like,
Yeah, go
Fucking
around
people-
to the other side of the truck, in the back, in the other direction from the car.
I swear, like, there's so many things about now. Like, I mean, I know things are shitty right now, but I swear, 30 years ago was basically the fucking dark ages.
Yeah.
Like, people just pissed
Yeah,
everywhere.
people had
Their
no
own
piss
tires.
etiquette.
Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you watch like 70s and 80s movies. It's like, the fuck are
Yeah.
you? Why would you piss there?
Yeah.
Like, It's like
They should just do that in movies now.
why don't you
where
just get a
char-
fucking chamber pot and toss it out your apartment window? I mean, what
just
the
characters are just like out with their friends and just like, well, I gotta take a piss, and just be like, the fuck are you doing? What? I thought
You'll
that's
get
what-
arrested.
Yeah,
Don't you understand?
You could make a Back to the Future movie now just about people trying to piss in random people places. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
yeah. Now you get arrested as a sex offender if you try to do that. But anyway, so Cheech has come up over the mountain, and they're just like, well, we got time. He's not coming. So the guy goes to piss and everything. And then, man, they just start playing Neil Diamond's Coming to America.
Well, Cheech does the Night King thing.
Yes.
And raises his arms, and then he suddenly has an army of Mexicans appear behind him
Yep. And
as
he's
they
just
play
like, go.
Coming to America.
And yeah, just 100 Mexicans are just running for this border truck.
I think that was the moment that Mackie announced that he was back in.
Yeah, oh yeah. 100% back in.
Yeah. And they just overrun this truck and jump over it, and he's arm in arm with the dudes he was teaching to speak
And the
Spanish.
lady.
Yeah. And they cut to, so there's a street parade in LA, and they
Such a good joke.
emerge out of a manhole into the middle of this parade, and she's like, why is there a parade?
He goes, it's Cinco de Mayo. She's like, what's Cinco de Mayo? He goes, I don't know. They have it every year, though.
Yeah.
That is the perfect joke for this. Just, it's so good.
Yeah.
Like, why is that not in the quote section? That is the best line of dialogue in this
Yeah.
movie. I don't know. They have it every year.
Yeah.
But wow, this movie just immediately is just like, it's over. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
like the dudes who got trained by Cheech
Yeah.
walk
The
towards
what's happening guys.
they walk towards a cop, and the cop is just like, Cinco de Mayo, hey, and they're like, hey,
Yeah, they're
what's
like, they're
happening?
like giving handshakes with the cop, and
And pointing at his badge like, yeah, they're go Raiders.
then yeah,
And he's just like, all right.
he's like, yeah, Cinco
Yeah.
de Mayo.
and then they both are just kind of looking at each other like, that fucking worked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then we get one more shot of green dress, red-haired girl.
Yes.
Coming out of the crowd and walking towards the camera.
and the crowd, who is all just waving and applauding, just freezes
Yeah.
as this lady walks across the
They
street.
stage freeze.
Yeah, and then it just skips 20 minutes of movie, and then cuts to Cheech and lady.
It looked like they were
Yeah.
about to get married. It looked like
They were.
It looked like they were about to do a Ferris Bueller float wedding. Because like they were like,
Guess what?
that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
it looked like they were on a float with a guy with a collar, and it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
According
and it
to, like-
freeze frames on.
Yeah. So, like, according to the alternate version section, like, so what happens at some point is that the people who lived across the street from him, the guy with the weird Jesus bib, they kidnap Cheech and her and hold them for ransom or something, and then INS comes in and is going to arrest all of them, and he's like, "I'll marry you, and then you can stay." So there's like a whole like other act of movie that the theatrical cut said, "Nah, he made it back. Just get out. Just let's go."
Yeah.
Because that literally is what happens. Like they are back, and 45 seconds later, the movie is over.
It's a good place. It's a better place to end it. Like if having a fourth act would have been weird.
Well, without seeing the stuff, I mean, you know,
Well, yeah, you get the triumphant moment of him, bringing this army across the border.
Right.
And then, yeah. And
I
then
mean,
you get
yes.
one really good joke, and then get out.
yes.
It's kind
it's
of,
fine.
I mean, without having seen the other parts, it's kind of a better place to end it.
I mean, I'm guessing Paul Rodriguez is the one who gets them out of that situation somehow by
Yeah, he gets them his
bumbling
wallet or
into it, or
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
just something. So anyway, that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, where the movie cuts off, it's fine.
Yeah. And we skip stuff like the first time he tries to get back into the U.S., he sneaks into an RV that two old people are
Oh,
driving.
Oh God,
yeah.
right?
They turn out to be drug mules.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
my
they
God.
have like fucking tons of just black bags.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
it is, but
Wrap,
it's
but
drugs.
like because they're at the border in the RV, and then the dog starts barking, and the little old lady's like, "Fuck away, dog! Go the fuck away, dog!"
Yeah.
And then the next shot is them just pulling bags out, and Cheech is hidden in the freezer, so he's like shivering and like he's all contorted in the thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's like disassembled Cheech because his body parts are just
Yeah.
like
No,
how
disassembled Cheech.
diagonal. Yeah, and then he ends up back in jail where Theo,
right.
threatens
Oh
him.
right, there's God.
And he has the scene where he has to tattoo the guy.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't even know, like that. I don't even understand what was happening there.
That scene is so bizarre because like it's set. So Feo is like, okay, you're gonna help me out, and then it cuts to this room that's an electric chair, and it's just like good luck, and it's like it's set up to where like Cheech has to throw the switch on this guy in an electric chair, and that goes on for a little while, and then he's like, haha, you're sitting on the tattoo needle, and then okay, it's a tattoo parlor, and you're like, okay, fine. So they go through this whole bit where he wants this tattoo on his chest changed, and then he changes it like super quick. Like suddenly he's talented at doing tattoos, but then he's like also got 4 tattooed bullet holes on his head.
It's a cut up scene. Who knows?
But also Cheech like takes all the money out of the cash box when he leaves, and then the next scene is him going to Daniel Stern saying,
It's only like $6.
"Yeah, but still, it looked like a lot more than that."
Yeah.
But
it's him going back to Daniel Stern going, hey, I need more work.
Yeah,
What you
he's
got
like
for me?
I got to get out of here, and he's like, well, I need money, and it never like, well, I have a wad of money, like that never comes up. That's just a weird.
That's the only.
It's so out of place.
Well, it's
with
one of those
everything
things for
else.
like for how well written some things are.
Yeah.
There's like scenes that he's just like, I wanted to get that in there,
Yeah, must have been.
and
like,
he doesn't have a way to tie it in with everything else. So
Yeah.
some of those things just kind of happen.
Yeah, the only thing that really does is serve to get him to the courtyard so he can see that there's a way to escape prison again.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yes. That's one weird bit, and we didn't talk about it because it was so bizarre.
Well,
my
yeah,
brain
and
just
they're
went-
both inconsequential.
Yeah.
You know.
like it's a gag, and you're like, well, okay, yeah, but it's like you're also sitting there going, what the fuck is happening? Like it just it doesn't register that you're being set up for a ridiculous sight gag. It's just like,
Well,
is he murdering that
yeah.
man? What's happening?
Well, but even before we realize that it's in the execution chamber, it seems like he's going to have to go perform sexual favors upon Feo
Right.
in some fashion.
Yeah.
So it kind of switches gears 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
in that sequence. It's weird.
I don't know.
Yep.
Anyway. And okay, so we need to have
So-
we need to have a discussion here real quick.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, so the movie opens with the chorus of Born in East LA, but it gets out quick. Like it's 4 seconds of that song and then it's
Yeah.
out. The movie ends with the entire song.
Yes, I know where this is going.
It's,
Is it a Stargrove if it's based on the song itself?
No, it's not written for the movie. It was a pre-existing thing. It's not describing the events of the movie. The movie is describing the events of the song. It's a Grove Star.
All right. I'll mark it as such, Grove Star.
Grove Star.
All right.
Well, I'm saying
Also,
it's
you
reversed.
viewers at home, mark it down as a Grove Star.
Our first ever Grove Star. Okay, that's fine.
It's an orange Grove Star.
We just need
See,
needed to clarify because a discussion needed. to
I
be-
mean, it's backwards. I mean, the very definition of Stargrove is like some composer guy is watching a scene from the movie and going, "Now he's walking down the street, left foot,
Yeah.
right."
no,
foot."
you're right.
Yeah,
It
so it
just
should be a
passed
Randy,
the Randy
Newman,
Newman
award.
test.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. Okay, Grove Star it is.
Grove Star.
All right.
Danger
All right.
through the running zone.
All right,
Ratings.
other
Ratings. I'm going to give this 2 jocks. I was not on board for a lot of the early parts of this movie, but it definitely won me over by the end. And there are some really solid jokes, and like we pointed out, like there's a lot of good screenwriting stuff that gets set up early that it never feels like setup. And that's the main thing that has to happen is it can never feel like, oh, that's going to come back, because it's just stuff that happens. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, oranges, like all right, good on you, movie, that sort of thing. So
And things like that serve multiple purposes, with the only exception being the wallet. But the wallet itself doesn't really show up again. It's just a
It's just
unseen
it's a
plot
contrivance
device.
for him
Yeah.
to not have it.
Yeah, but the oranges thing, like you think the scene is showing that he's a good guy. That's
Yeah.
what he is. He's just an overwhelmingly
Yeah.
caring guy.
you feel like it's served its purpose already.
yes. And then it's like, oh no, that was set up for this to get him out of this situation later.
Yeah.
Because they just show up with the magical card of oranges to defeat bad guys.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 2 jocks. It is an enjoyable movie with like way more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
A lot of heart.
I'm a little bit higher on this. The parts that lost you didn't really lose me. The comedy carried me through those rougher parts. I'm going to give this 3 of the jocks. I thought it was pretty damn good. Like I said, the comedy really, really, really works, which is kind of surprising. Like, I think Cheech and Chong is kind of funny. It's a little bit before my time, but it's generally funnier because, haha, look at that weird time when you could do this weird thing, and people would flock to see it. But everything in this movie manages to land pretty well. Like, it sticks to the landing on the ending. The only really odd part, I guess, is that tattoo scene that just doesn't really fit with anything else. Anything could have happened to get him out of that prison. I don't know. I don't know if he just like felt like he had to get a prison tattoo joke in because he got all the other prison tropes in, but that was the only thing that really kind of didn't work. Even though the scene itself was kind of funny, in
It just didn't fit. You were so like, what is happening? What is
yeah.
this?
I really I felt like that scene was building to he was going to do something, and the guy's like, because it's a picture of his now soon to be ex-wife. That's what it is. But it's like a flowing hair, like it's just like her head with like a flowing hair. I thought for sure it was like it was going to turn into like a sperm or something. Like I thought he was going to like, oh, I'll fix this up, and like next thing you know, he's like turning it into a big dick.
Yeah,
something
and,
like that.
and then he gets beaten up by the guy or whatever.
I thought that's where it was the whole time that's where that scene was going.
But no, he competently covered it up.
No, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, in so much that he drew a gun and her brains being blown out.
Okay,
Right.
yes, what happened is grotesque,
But it was extremely well done
yeah,
for that.
sure.
And the guy really liked it. He was
did.
really happy about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that part was weird, but honestly, it's honestly a pretty decent little flick.
Yeah.
Strange how this theme month has worked.
It is. I'm going to agree with you, BJ. I'm giving it 3 jocks
Good
also.
man.
For a movie that is based on a song written and directed by someone who, had I mean, they had done like short films and stuff like that, but this is a major motion picture. I mean, this is a big deal.
Well, he made lots of movies. I mean,
Yeah, but like he didn't write and direct and star, and like he's in almost every scene in this. It's not like he just sat back and let everyone else do some bits of acting and everything. Like he's pretty much in every scene. It looks effortless. Like there's no like glaring like you didn't get that shot or that camera's in a bad place or anything. Like he and the crew that he had and everything about it, it's very well done for what it is. And like we've been saying, the screenplay has weird, super confident bits in it that aren't hitting you over the head with the fact that it's a setup for something that's going to pay off later. They all come across as surprises. And on top of that, I think there are 5 jokes in this that just fucking kill. Like just they hit. And they're not even like the big It's like you wouldn't put these in trailers or anything like that. They're not things that are going to get you into the theater, but they're just 5 setups or asides or just like bits of conversation, and they kill. They just kill.
The Cinco de Mayo joke.
Exactly.
Is
That is so perfect.
so good.
40 seconds from the credits, and it's dynamite.
Yeah. And then on top of that, Daniel Stern is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I don't think
His initial freak out is so good.
Right.
Man, we did not talk about Daniel Stern enough.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to describe how he's being. And it's like one half Uncle Eddie and one half Marv. Uncle Eddie from Vegas Vacation.
Right.
And yeah, one half Uncle Eddie, one half Marv, and it's all marvelous. It works so well.
Yeah.
Daniel Stern is a treasure.
Yeah, this
Okay.
movie's fun. I was worried at the beginning because it seemed like, oh, this is going to be a tragedy. Like this is good. This is just horrific. But no, it recovers nicely and it has good heart and good jokes and good direction, good writing. Good job, Cheech.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm also giving it 3 jocks. I am completely shocked because I think even as we were sitting down for food, I'll come right out and say it. I've never liked Cheech and Chong, generally speaking. I mean, I think Up in Smoke has its moments. A couple of their bits on their albums from time to time were kind of funny. Literally every other Cheech and Chong movie is fucking insufferable to me, besides Up in Smoke. Like, just, I've never made it more than like 20 minutes and out of any of them. Or I'll catch them on. I'm like, nope, fuck this shit. Like,
A lot of them seem to boil down to we have to get to the giant joint.
right. That's what I mean. And and it's like, and it's strange because like I was like getting to this movie, I was just like, oh fuck. Like I never really necessarily had anything against Cheech. I think he's been good when he's not doing his Cheech character, you know. But yeah, I was not looking forward to this movie, especially with the fact that it was based on a fucking parody song, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing going for it in the outline, the water cooler pitch of this movie,
Right.
you know, going for it. And I was like, this is going to be a train wreck. And no, it recovers very nicely. Like even when it started, I was like, all right, it's not as insufferable as a Cheech and Chong movie yet, but I was like, please recover it. And man, it sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a bit of that sort of frantic, weird comedy energy that always makes me think of Forbidden Zone in that, like, frantic absurdism. And anytime I see that now, my gut reaction is to go, oh, shit, oh, no, it's going to be, we're going to get Forbidden Zoned. But it pulls away from that very, very easily.
Also, there's one other... I don't even know if it's a joke or if it was just like something somebody might actually say at the time. It's certainly something that's aged better, and I think it would have been funny at the time.
Right, yes.
Is that when the guy who repaired his guitar shows up, he's like, "Hey, what are you going to do this week?" And he's like, "I don't know, probably just sit at home and Wang Chung."
Yes.
And he just says it so casually and offhandedly that I was like, I'm putting that on my repertoire of like, what are you doing tonight?
I have a feeling at the time that joke probably felt 6 months out of date.
I don't
Probably.
And now it's just like, yeah, I would say that all the time.
care. I'll probably just sit at home and Wing Chun tonight.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's another just good little aside.
Oh,
that-
it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's solid.
Yes.
But let's take a break, shall we?
Yes,
Okay.
let's.
Make
See.
a run for the border. Dong.
Man, that was an entirely positive theme month.
Yeah, all jocks.
Right.
Not one bag.
Boy, good thing I wasn't here to fuck up any of those other two.
You would have
Yeah,
liked the other two.
Fuck.
You would have really liked the other two.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were all super action heavy and chaos.
I like action and chaos.
Well, you would have gotten it.
My mama don't like me trying to tell me how to live. But I don't listen to her because my head is like a sieve.
I remember that.
That should have been the intro.
BMFcast don't like me trying to tell me.
How many movies you got? It's been 3 weeks. You seen anything?
No.
I saw a new movie.
Yes, you did.
Man, I wish I'd gotten here early enough to look at some Alien in 4K. Since
Really?
I still don't have a 4K TV, but I had to get that 4K disc.
Really
So are those
just-
shorts on the disc?
Not on the 4K disc,
Really?
but they might be on the Blu-ray. See, they do that a lot because like they want the 4K disc to have,
Just
most.
the movie.
Yeah.
It's like the super bit from
Yeah.
that era.
Well, I mean, except if
No
you think,
extras,
Except
all
if you think about
bits.
it, I mean, it's still a Blu-ray. It still holds the 50 gigs. It's just a quote-unquote 1080p Blu-ray movie. It only takes a small fraction of that amount of space.
Yeah.
Uncompressed, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I have new Hellboy to talk about,
Mm.
and you have that other movie,
that lady movie.
the lady
Movie about ladies.
Yes. Heck Girl.
Yeah, Heck Girl.
Yeah. But I do want to watch those other Alien shorts. I saw one that they posted. I forget which one it was, but it's basically like it's a bottle thing. It's only like 6 minutes long too.
Yeah.
But God, like
It is, isn't
I don't know how those people got chosen to do those shorts.
I mean, are they like known filmmakers or?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
That was the thing. Is like a lot of them were just like they had done some stuff, but it's like it's not like
I didn't even know
we
about
got
this.
Guillermo del Toro to do a it's not like anything like that. And the one that I had didn't even show any alien in it.
Cool.
So it's kind of like it's disappointing in that facet, but like Jesus Christ, if someone gave me a budget to make a 10-minute alien movie, I have like literally 20 ideas of things that I would do. And I'm like, how did anyone get signed up to do this? Because I would fucking stab a human being to be able to do that.
I think I'd make one.
We
and
can do it for no budget in a weekend. We can cram an alien
I
idea.
could, but it won't get on that thing.
I think if I could make one, I would probably like explain them by the fact that like it's really just some goo that you put in the water, and eventually like a android turns evil, and I don't know. I'm just trying to sum up the terrible prequels.
Don't.
Right. Let's go down to a foreign planet and not wear helmets.
Poke at things.
Yep.
Oh,
This
man.
looks evil.
Here's somebody asking, when's the next No Quarters?
When we
Anyone
got-
buy the Borderlands remaster?
I can't.
I can't buy the Borderlands remaster because I've gotten everything I can get. I got all the however many achievements there were in Borderlands, including all the DLC. I've done all of it,
I still want it, but
I don't
I'm
think
not,
I can
I'm
go
not
back.
spending $30.
but I never finished Borderlands 2. That's what's weird. Is like that they had that whole thing where my progress got reset. You know, whatever. What was
Oh,
that?
yeah.
What was the thing that it was called where it was like your meta character thing?
Badass rank. Your
Yeah,
badass rank.
Yeah,
got
that got
reset.
reset to 0, and when that happened, even though I got it back at some point, but I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not playing until that's fixed
Yeah.
because I didn't want to lose anything, and then it took so long to get fixed that I never came back.
I wish that you had time for us to co-op through the rest of that you haven't played.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that one of the 2 jobs that's in the hopper comes through, because I will be back to a normal human being schedule. One of them especially is like 4-minute commute.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'd be sweet.
yeah.
Well,
so that would be awesome.
Speaking of Hopper, let's do a second half.
Okay.
We'll talk about Hellboy.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Have we ordered any of these Sedaris Blu-rays yet?
I did.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I bought them personally.
Mm.
I mean, I didn't know if we wanted
I
to
just
have
feel like
them
we
or
should
not.
have a studio copy of
Okay.
like at least Hard Ticket to
Yeah, at
Hawaii.
least
Yeah.
that one.
Okay.
I don't really
Yeah.
care about the other ones. I mean,
I
they're
just know they
fine.
keep.
I still
putting
need to
more
watch
out.
Malibu Express.
Oh, okay.
so.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either.
It's
We
such
should do
a-
an extra,
it's
Chuck.
such
Okay.
it's such a different movie
I
than
know.
the other
I
ones.
know. That's
It's more of like a real movie, kind
No,
of.
it feels
in
more
that-
like a Burt Reynolds farce. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, we're having a good time.
okay.
I-
I like good times. I don't want to look at Leather Girl anymore.
You be nice to Donna.
Yeah, is there anyone in
we
it?
were all horrific to Donna.
Well, isn't it like that one's actually about the Abilene guy?
The characters are in it, but none of the like
Yeah.
actual people.
But
It's all
like the
Sybil
storyline
Danning
is
and
based
stuff like
around
that.
the actual
Oh, yeah,
a
it's-
male,
it-
not
yeah, it
one of
follows
the
the-
women.
I think they still kind of Big Trouble in Little China. Like he's still an incompetent asshole. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
he's
think
still,
you
like-
can shoot in that either. I think that's where the whole.
I'm just
joke
saying the vibe of it is so much different than the ones after it.
Yeah.
Well, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, they figured out what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, and then they forgot. And they made 8 more of them. They're like, people like the boobs, and we're like, no, we like the cancer snake and the razor blade frisbees,
Yeah.
not people
That's my
fucking
new-
on a motorcycle.
It's my new prog rock band, Cancer Snake and the Razor Blade Frisbees.
Anyway, yes, let's do a second half.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to try again?
Oh, that's fine.
All right, welcome back.
Hey,
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Jesus,
half.
that was enthusiastic.
We're happy to be here.
Apparently.
Mackie's here.
We're getting
I
on it.
know.
Oh boy.
That's
Guess what
why-
I've got?
What?
What?
Absolutely nothing.
Yay!
Yay!
Say it again.
But I bet you guys do.
Yeah.
I do.
What'd you see?
I went and saw Hellboy 2019. Not to
Oh.
be confused with Hellboy the other year.
Oh, does it? Does it
1987.
does it live up to the revered classic that is Hellboy
Are you?
and Hellboy 2?
The Golden
Like,
Circle.
like, sorry, they're just 2 okay movies that like
Yeah.
people on Twitter are like, no, they can't redo Hellboy. Like that's sacred ground. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why? But anyway,
Yeah. I'm trying to think because all right. So I'll start off by saying I have, besides watching the 2 Del Toro movies, I have no reference to Hellboy. Like I've never tried to read any of the comics.
the comics are way better.
Okay, I'm sure they are.
Way better.
Are you saying this?
No,
for sure?
I'm serious.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like they're fucking awesome.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to tell with
No,
Maggie.
no,
Yeah,
they are
I
like
didn't know.
the movies don't really.
I
do
thought
them
you were still
justice.
being Twitter guy. You know?
No. Okay. No, I like the comics are
Okay.
terrific.
Well, I mean, what I've heard about the comics, and you can back me up, I guess, is that they're much more prone to not necessarily having a through line. It's just like,
Yeah.
we're going to go over here and have this adventure.
Yep, it's very episodic.
Yeah. So I feel like this movie is drawing more from that where, I felt like both the Del Toro Hellboy movies were like, no, we have this grand thing we're trying to go to, and it's just like, it's about getting to that goal. Because this one is just full of wacky scenes. Like now we're over here and we're doing this. Now I mean, there is a big thing happening throughout the whole movie, but it just he finds a way to be in this other crazy scenario. You know, like up against this other mythological creature thing.
Yeah. Is it presented as a reboot, or is it presented as
It's a reboot.
sequel?
It's
Okay.
a reboot. It's not a continuation at all. Because they go out of their way to have as little to do with the first ones as they can. I think to a certain degree, because there's a post mid credit one of the credit sequence things sets up a known character. Let's just say that. Yeah, it's like
Hell
like
girl.
yes, Hell Girl. Yes, Hell Woman. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah. She's like his mom.
Oh, I see.
No,
Now,
no, I was just
Hellboy,
saying, like,
you go to your
no, I mean,
room.
like, they were like planning a sequel where it's like, all right, now we can get into like things you may have already known because we've established this one.
Is there some idiot man-child who is explaining the whole movie as it goes along? The audience cipher?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
All right. I remember that being a low point in the original Hellboy.
Yeah. Now that I forgot that guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like in this movie. I mean, there's a lot of BMFcast-y type of shit going on. I know this is not going to strike any good chords in Chuck, but it's a Neil Marshall movie, and I know you don't like Neil Marshall. Well, you don't like the Descent.
I just don't like The Descent.
Yeah. It's weird because I feel like maybe it's because of the inclusion of Mila Jovovich in it. It feels more like a Paul W.S. Anderson movie than
Like
a
a-
Neil Marshall movie.
Like a Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Neil Marshall typically has more style than this movie has, and it's strange because when you because I knew there was stuff in the credits, I'm actually kind of sitting there watching the credits, and it seemed like there was more than just a second unit. Like it seemed like maybe he was just kind of sort of overseeing this movie versus like directing it. It just didn't feel like his other movies where it's like you kind of have a vision and you're going for it, like it or not. This just kind of felt disjointed at times where I was like, I'm not entirely sure you quote unquote directed this entire movie. Like you may not even been on certain sets, kind of thing, because like certain tonal shifts were so wild. I think the costume looks fine. Like the makeup on Hellboy, I think David Harbour does a pretty good job. I like that he's like and I don't know if this is accurate to the comic. He's a lot mopier. Like Ron Perlman, he was like seemed like he didn't want to be Hellboy, or is like fuck, I have to do this shit again kind of thing. But it's like Ron Perlman can't seem mopey really. He's just too commanding and bombastic of a personality to really portray that. But I felt like he did better of like this is my lot in life to like walk around and be a freak and this kind of stuff. I felt like he portrayed that better.
Right.
Yeah, and Ian McShane is always awesome. He plays the father guy, the guy who runs the BPRD.
The John Hurt character.
Yeah. I liked I already forgot her name. It's like Sasha something, but she's kind of like if there's a main sidekick,
Sasha Lane.
Sasha Lane, yeah. She was just recently in that Hearts Beat Loud I talked about. But she's good at it. It's strange because tonally, like I said, it feels all over the place. Like there will be a scene where it's like, fuck yeah, that was awesome, and then then it will go into an action scene. It's like, okay, everything that worked in this action scene you just threw away, and you're doing weird quick cuts over here. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just it feels disjointed as a whole. I mean, I still think it's worth watching, and I think it's a lot of the scenes I maybe had problems with in the theater will play better at home. Like I've commented about this about other movies where I feel like sometimes they're shooting movies now to play on televisions instead of theaters because some of the handheld crazy swoopy camera stuff just doesn't work in the theater very well. So I feel like this is something that will play better at home.
So there's no Abe Sapien in this movie, huh?
No.
Huh. Okay.
No.
Okay.
But there's a couple people in it that I didn't know were in it, and I don't. Is it spoiler to announce someone who's in the cast? I mean, it's not like it's hidden in the cast, like not like uncredited, like surprise. But like Thomas Hayden Church is in it as Lobster Johnson, and that character is fucking awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that scene where he shows up is real good.
So he's killed another comic franchise, has he?
No, well, I don't know. I mean,
It's not
I
his
guess this
fault.
movie like tanking. I guess bad.
Oh,
I-
yeah.
I know it's like
Yeah.
getting bad reviews.
No,
but
this thing fucking like they some outlet ran a thing like this movie did worse than these notorious failures, and it was like looking at the list, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it kind of. I feel like it just vanished. Like it barely had any build up to it, and then
Yeah.
once it hit, it was like, nope, gone.
Yeah.
Like there was no zeitgeist whatsoever with it.
It's one of those movies like the second Lego movie that was just like, what? That's out? What? That's already gone? What? Huh?
So I saw it in the theater, so I don't know. It's all right. I guess we're never going to get a sequel, but I mean that's strangely enough that's kind of unfortunate. Like I would like to see where they go from here. Actually,
Well, I mean, for them to have said, no, Guillermo del Toro, your idea is too expensive and no one wants it, and we're going to go in a different direction, and then to make a movie that makes $4, while he was winning an Oscar, for directing the fish fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's called Grinding Nemo.
you're right. Yeah, you wonder if they were like in the editing room, like, fuck.
Probably.
Watching the Oscars, like, fuck.
Like I said, I still think it's worth a watch.
Do they have the monkey with a gun scene in the movie?
Like a literal monkey?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
That's why the movie failed.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need a monkey with a gun.
And you must give him a gun.
Yes.
Is that Hellboy thing?
Yes, it is a very famous page of the comic.
Okay.
Yeah.
It shows up on Twitter a lot.
Must
Yeah,
not be that famous.
I remember when they announced
bitch.
the movie, they were like, this better be in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's enjoyable. I had zero hype leading up to it. I was like, oh, they're making another Hellboy. Okay, I'll see this. And then people that started seeing it in the first week, which I didn't get a chance to do, started kind of coming at us with like, holy shit, BMFcast movie. So my hype meter swayed just a little bit the wrong way, so that I was kind of like, I was watching it, I was like, like that scene's really good. Like I really like that. That's gross and weird and cool, and that's I don't know what the hell's going on here. Just kind of like I said, it's just disjointed is all.
You figured by the time you saw it, you were hyped appropriately.
I think I would have enjoyed it more if it stayed at zero hype. Like if I hadn't heard anyone go like, oh, BAMF, like not good in a traditional way, but good in a BAMFcast way. It's like my brain starts like, okay, what crazy Fast and Furious shit is about to happen in this?
Yeah.
Maybe they just meant that it would be a good movie for us to cover.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
People tell us shit all the time, and I'm like,
They do. And
no,
we have to
that's-
filter through it.
Yeah.
You never know. People like all kinds of things. So
I just tell people I don't pick the movies. The movies pick me.
I blame it all on Chuck,
well,
who is the correct person to blame it all on.
I guess that is
Well,
true.
speaking of comic books,
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Right?
that is a comic book movie.
Yeah. I went to a movie.
I know
I saw a thing.
that's why I was setting you up for it.
Yeah, for the second year in a row, I waited to the very last second to see the movie that sets up the Avengers movie.
Kinda.
Well, the one before it. You might
Yeah.
need to know a little bit about this character because this character will show up in the next
sure.
thing. So I went and saw Captain Marvel. Before I get
Captain
into
Marvel
the
is still in the theaters?
it is
Damn.
barely. Let me explain
Were
that.
you in the 12 box
Yeah,
theater?
because
The 12 pack?
I understand.
Wait,
and-
12?
12 seats.
Really? Is there one like that?
Yeah, I understand and mostly agree with that. Yes, the theatrical experience is unmatched. Like you go to a big auditorium with surround sound and everything and a big bright screen, everything's great. If you wait 3 weeks, that movie is in a shoebox theater where the screen is dark and only one speaker works in the room and you can hear everyone in the fucking theater murmuring at each other, and it's just like, how is the experience so drastically different? I paid the same price.
Because you waited like
3
You waited
weeks.
not 3 weeks.
No,
that
you
movie's
waited-
been out like a month and a half.
Yeah,
at
a lot
least.
longer than 3
Like,
weeks.
Whatever. That movie made $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be in the fucking shoebox theater. Put fucking Dumbo in the shoebox theater. Dumbo made 6 cents.
Yeah, big dumbos.
I see dead elephants.
So anyway, Captain Marvel. That's great. It's a Marvel movie.
It's a great.
It's a great.
It's a great.
It's a great.
Chuck review.
I mean, really, I think we've all beaten to death by now. Marvel, the MCU anyway, has not fucked up, and they continue to not fuck up. There are movies of varying quality within the this is pretty good to this is fucking great, and I think this is maybe in between there. Because I will say for the first 20 to 30 minutes, I was not on board with this movie at all. Like, something about it really was rubbing me the wrong way, and I think it was kind of like the world they established and what these people were doing. I was like, I've seen this before. This is not, who cares? And then when they start with the whole, like, where are we in time? Where are we in place? Like, what is this? It's kind of disorienting to, it's like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what you're trying to do here. And it takes a while for the movie to settle into what it's actually doing. So I just kind of felt out of the movie hadn't grabbed me yet. It's not that it was bad, but it was just, I'm not on board with this yet. But I think like when Samuel L. Jackson shows up, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm okay. I understand everything we're doing here. I understand where we're going. Let's go. I stared at that man for the entire film, waiting for some sort of like, I see the CG fucked up there, or just like, oh, that looks weird. Not once. Like, Michael Douglas and Robert Downey Jr. de-aged in the other movies, and Kurt Russell too, to an extent. You look at them and you go,
they don't look quite right.
Man, I don't know. Like, this is not, there's something, I can see like the sheen, the digital something going on. Not once looking at Sam Jackson was I ever like, holy shit. They fucked up that, it's just like that. Wow, where did they find young Sam Jackson? Mm-hmm. Now it's a little weird because he's acting like a 75-year-old man throughout it. He's not exactly spry, but physical appearance, it's just like they fucking nailed this technology.
Has Sam Jackson ever been like spry on screen?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's had his moments.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a lot older than people think he is.
Yeah.
Like he is.
He tried to rob the McDougalls. Coming to America. Right. That was him.
Yes.
Yep. But it's funny just seeing him in the Spider-Man trailer before the movie, and then you see him in the movie.
You're
it's
like,
oh. It's like, oh, yeah, he's really old.
Yeah. So, I from that point on, I was like, okay, this makes sense. And I even though, like, the lore of this movie doesn't do anything for me yet, because I really haven't dived into that part of the comics history or anything, just the fact that this movie is about just all these alien races just doing weird, crazy shit, and humans are just kind of background characters in this movie. It just so happens to take place on Earth mostly, but the bulk of it is not about any human characters whatsoever. They're not important to the story necessarily. I just think that's where we're at now with comic movies is great. They don't have to be grounded by, okay, here are the humans, and here's the one weird alien thing, and they'll deal with that. The fact that it has just moved on to whatever, just aliens and bullshit and shapeshifters and everything, just who cares? And the fact that there is no love interest in this movie for Captain Marvel is fucking great. Like, this movie doesn't waste any time on hot bullshit. Mm-hmm. And
there's a very specific point in this movie where it does not waste any time on hot bullshit, and I almost stood up and cheered.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Finally found a way to describe that unspoilery.
Yeah. Also, like, look, I like looking at pretty ladies.
Hell yeah.
I watch a lot of movies where ladies are naked.
Hell yeah.
I enjoy it. I am not going to say that I don't. But it is refreshing in this movie that there is not even so much as a tiny lowered zipper on her outfit at any point. The camera doesn't linger on body curves. There's no like hot lady in a skin tight thing, huh? Look at her. Like, the movie just never does any of the usual bullshit that comes with movies like this. And I think that's great. It's just so refreshingly original that it's not going down the same dumb hole of ladies like pink things and they've got to find a man, and it's like, good on you for just sticking to the plot and making the plot.
Are you saying those things aren't true? My world's shattered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Hey man, shout out to like fucking pinball being a plot point in this movie. That's awesome.
Oh, which table
Space
is that?
Invaders.
Space Invaders. Yeah.
That's terrible machine.
It's all right if you find one in good condition. It's all right.
It should have been Xenon.
whatever.
Even though
it was,
Xenon isn't great, Xenon looks amazing.
but it was a good gag.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when the pinball table becomes a plot point in the fight at the end, I was like, oh no, please don't hurt the valuable pinball table. But it was all CG at that point. Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's fun. I like it. The soundtrack's a little too on the nose. There are just a couple of drops in that where you're
but
just
it
like,
works.
It does.
Yeah, it
It
works.
does, but it doesn't. Like I have a feeling like if I was like in like this, I'm going to predict the soundtrack mode, I could have nailed every sound drop that happened
Sure.
in that.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad.
No, it doesn't. But sometimes you feel like you just want like just a slight layer deeper of soundtrack knowledge and not just like here's the top 40 of 1995 in the appropriate situations.
You want some deeper cuts. That's what
But
you're
they don't
saying.
have to be like super hardcore deep or anything. Just like maybe songs that were in the top 20, that didn't get all the way up into the top 10, that kind of thing. But these are all just ridiculous nitpicks that don't matter. It's good. It's fun.
One of my favorite ridiculous nitpicks from, actually, it's probably my favorite ridiculous nitpick from Captain Marvel. At one point, she's wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt, right?
Yes.
And the designer of the Nine Inch Nails logo on Twitter was like, "That's a knockoff Nine Inch Nails shirt." Because the line weight wasn't correct. The line weight of the box around the NIN
Yeah.
was narrower than like the letters, like the uprights on the letters, and it's supposed to be the exact same width as the upright on the letters. And he described it in like a 3 or 4 tweet thing. And he's like, "It's a fucking knockoff." I was like, "Okay, I'll take that nitpick."
Sure.
The guy that designs the logo
That's fine.
gets to.
She also got it from a knockoff place.
Did she get it from a knockoff
Yes.
place?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So it works.
Perfect then.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't realize she got it from a.
Yeah, weren't they like what like next to the Blockbuster? Was it like a dollar store basically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, not a dollar, but something like a dollar store.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yes,
Then,
but designers know that shit.
yeah, obviously.
You spot it
Especially
instantly.
like when you design an
A
iconic
thing that everyone
logo
knows
for
that well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's super tertiary because we're talking about Captain Marvel, but I think we had this conversation off air at some point.
Okay.
But I'm now angry and I can't unthink this now.
All right.
Thinking about the movie Shazam,
Okay.
aka also Captain Marvel, that they didn't cast Sinbad as Shazam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Like whoever said that, I'm actually actively angry that DC didn't go like, all right,
Let's go full meta on
Let's
this,
really
full internet
fuck with
meta.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
follow me with this one. Yeah, follow me, camera guy.
How about this?
Yeah.
Do they? So they never say. Do they ever say Captain Marvel in Captain Marvel?
No.
No, he's not. He's
Do they? Well,
he's not officially Captain Marvel anymore. They
no.
Yeah.
Back up. They never say Captain Marvel in Captain Marvel.
No.
No.
They never say Captain Marvel in Shazam.
correct.
That's funny.
Yep.
She also doesn't say Shazam, but he does a lot.
Well, I'd hope Captain Marvel and
No one
Captain
calls
Marvel
him-
doesn't say Shazam.
No one calls him Shazam, but he
Right.
has to say it to activate his powers.
Right.
So, and they explain Shazam and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, she briefly.
Funny.
Sam Jackson says, calls her Marvel, and she's like, "No, it's Marvel. It's 2 words." And he's like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound very good." It's just kind of an aside,
Yeah.
but it's no big deal. That cat's fucking awesome, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like I had heard like, "Hey, the cat's great in that," and then like for 3 weeks forgot it, and then like when the cat showed up, I was like, "Oh yeah, this fucking cat." And then I like went back and read like, no one in the movie likes cats. Like Sam Jackson absolutely doesn't like cats,
Really?
and Brie
Really?
Larson is allergic to cats.
That's fascinating because like him
Oh yeah,
going gooey over the cat, just like he was a good kid.
yeah, that made it even better because he was just like, "Oh, look at you."
Acting.
Yeah, and just the dumb origin stuff they loaded into that movie worked for me too. Just ridiculous. Like, how did this happen? And it's like, oh, that okay, whatever. Like questions you never needed answered, they were just like, we'll throw that in here. It's like, okay, sure, fine.
I mean, that's the thing is like Captain Marvel kind of, in a strange sort of way. I'm not putting it down as a movie overall, but it really feels like the rug that ties the whole room together.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like, hey, this was important over here, and this
Yeah,
how
let's
this-
put all these
This is
pieces
how this
together.
because there hasn't been we had 1940 whatever movie. It jumped a couple of little flashback things in Ant-Man's, and then it's like now we're modern times, and this is our chance to explain how this got here.
Yeah, and it was fun. There was a thing that I wasn't expecting because I didn't know, but there were definitely people in the theater who are super duper Marvel fans were not expecting, like late game when a certain object makes an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
People in the theater literally gasped. They were like, "Oh, that's the," and I was like, "Yeah," but like, because you can hear everything in this 12-seat theater, but
Yes.
like dedicated Marvel people were like, "That's the, oh my god, that oh," so people were like totally stoked by that. The fact
Strange
that-
that someone would be that hardcore of a fan and wait until 3 years after it came out
Some people
to go
are
see it
some people are busy
in the
man.
12-seat
Some
theater.
Very busy people.
Okay.
I think honestly
That's chappy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I think two things that bolstered by a little bit, not a lot, but bolstered both Black Panther and Captain Marvel were that they weren't going to be on disc before the Avengers came out, and so I think those people were probably like me and was like, well, I'll see this on Blu-ray, and the Avengers I'll go see in the theater, but it didn't come out in time, so what can you do?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
Go see it in the 12-seater.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Look ahead because they announce when the disc's coming out as soon as it's in the theater.
They usually do.
Yeah.
When is it coming out?
It's like May or something like that. It's a
Yeah.
while away, but
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and of course, you got to see Endgame as quick as you can because
well,
the internet's just gonna
Man.
fuck it.
In fact, actually, just stop listening to us. Shut the internet down.
Yeah.
yeah, turn the internet off.
Well, I mean, like
Unplug
it's
the
just like
links.
Something happened the night Game of Thrones premiered for this season 8 that just internet stopped giving a fuck about spoilers.
Yep.
yeah.
Nobody gave a single fuck. It was just memes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well-
it happened to an extent with Captain Marvel, but it just
did,
went
yeah.
in fucking sane when Game of Thrones premiered. I think it's because everybody's watching it on HBO Go in their homes on their computers, and they can just pause and screen cap and post it on Reddit and be done with it. But man, you cannot go fucking anywhere until you see Endgame.
Yeah, as Greencap put it at, I don't know if it was on Facebook or Twitter, one of those, but he was like, all you people who are like, hey, don't spoil Endgame for me, are going to be posting on Saturday morning a picture of one of the heroes in the movie and write all the feels underneath it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like even if you're not spoiling it, you're spoiling it with some sort of context.
Yeah.
Yes. There is.
Because someone will write Iron Man and then put 12 crying emojis, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong
Yeah.
with you?
I also saw someone who had literally like muted a 30-day mute on Twitter, and they had every possible Marvel character they could think of
Smart.
was added on there.
Yep.
I just have to survive to Monday.
You can make it.
I
But
decided
I'm not
going to
go on our
risky.
Discord.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Like we've already had something show up in the MCU one.
Yep.
Theoretically, it's a spoiler, but I haven't looked at it.
I haven't looked
had
at
to
it either.
ask.
I thought we were safe from Endgame spoilers until Endgame came out proper.
Well, I know
Right.
people in Australia have seen it now.
Yeah.
So,
But
well,
that's-
there was like an
all
LA
bets are off
screening on
now.
Monday, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's critics have seen it. It's out there.
Honestly, and this is like not to try to influence the behavior of our spoiler zone, but it's a spoiler zone for a movie that has not come out where we live yet.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Just
yeah, and we have
hold-
spoiler tags.
Well, this
spoiler
was an
tags are
image.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use spoiler tags on images.
Oh, okay, cool.
God, I don't want to go overzealous on spoiler culture, but can you give me a fucking minute? Like,
Yeah.
can you wait until the broadcast of Game of Thrones ends before
Right.
you like spoil everything in memes?
Well, that's the thing is like they keep fucking up Game of Thrones and like both episodes they've released early somewhere.
Yeah.
Like Amazon fucked up last time and put it out like 8 hours early or something.
wow.
Yeah,
Some dumb
Direct
shit.
TV.
DirecTV
Yeah.
now put it
Yeah.
out.
Put it out early.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like seriously, like our spoiler zone should be like start at 9 p.m. on Thursday. Like the earliest time you could possibly see this movie. Well, more like 10 p.m. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah. It is impossible to have seen the movie unless you're
Yeah.
very special at this point.
Yes.
Or you have a ironclad stomach and go
Like
38 hours of
by
Marvel movies.
I guarantee by midnight tomorrow night, Thursday night, which the screenings for Avengers start at like 6 p.m. Thursday. By midnight, the internet will be littered with bullshit spoilers, especially from people who don't necessarily think they're posting spoilers, but will just be doing the the posting of an image and just the crying emoji.
So stay off Reddit, stay off Facebook and Twitter.
Oh man, unplug that Linksys and put your phone in airplane mode. It's the only way to be sure, man.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Don't accept any text messages.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean,
No,
think
airplane
about it.
mode, literally, fucking.
You think about it, this weekend's going to be so fucking destroyed. Like you may as well just not bother with social media because obviously you got Endgame on Thursday/Friday, and then you got Game of Thrones,
which is the
fucking Battle of the White Walkers
Death battle
episode, which is
bullshit.
going to be like,
Yeah.
all right, like 95% of the characters you give a shit about are going to die. Like it's probably going to be the bigger spoiler is going to be who actually got through it alive.
Yes.
Right.
Because it's Game of Thrones, so everybody's going to fucking die. You know,
Man.
like
every conversation in that last episode are conversations we point out in BMFcast
Yeah.
movies of just like, oh, you dead.
You're so dead.
You mentioned what you're going
I
to do
mean-
after the battle. No, you
I mean,
fucking dead.
that's the point. Like that was the point of that. That was such a fantastic episode.
The,
But
the only one that's living for sure is Bran because he was like, how do you
No.
know? How do you know there's an after?
nope, he's the one I think is guaranteed to die.
No, he's the only one that was like, how do you know there's an after? I'm saying like everyone else is like, well, afterwards we're gonna do. He's the only one who's like, there might not be an after.
I think he knows exactly why there's not an after.
I'm just saying like whatever. At this point,
They all
Yeah,
died.
but so you've got those two big things happening in one weekend. So yeah,
the Night King's gonna sit on the throne.
you know what
It might
Night
be.
King's gonna die too because people are standing the shit out of Night King.
Yeah, people like him now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they're into it.
time to die.
Time to fuck the Night King.
Wow. I just opened the door periodically and say that.
Is that
Ladies
how
and
you
gentlemen,
answer your door?
time to fuck the Night King.
There it is.
I was just gonna sit at home and Wang Chung tonight.
Oh boy.
Holy shit.
So anyway, don't spoil shit.
We have fun here.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell where they pull out each of your genital hairs one by one, and as fast as they pull them out, they grow back.
That's
For
for
eternity.
spoiler people.
That's for spoiler people. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I appreciate the zeitgeist, but fuck,
There's like
give
I
some
do
of us
not
some
appreciate
room.
the zeitgeist.
Well, it's okay. So it's cool that the two biggest things in the world right now are the end of a 28 film superhero story and a dumb dragon fantasy wizard bullshit television show, and those two things are both literally quote unquote in the end game, and it's like, man, just like every character you've come to love for like 10 years is going to die. And it's just fucking enjoy it, nerds. Your story's ending, and everyone you care about will die. Welcome to 2019.
But please be responsible. Create private groups for people that you know have seen this movie.
Just text your memes to yourself.
That's really the only person that gives a shit.
Yes. God.
I like the memes, but I also hate. I just hate seeing it. Like I just the Facebook feed and the Twitter feed just erupt instantly, and I can't.
I mean, okay.
I know we want to talk about it, but fuck.
Okay, it was Friday.
We've talked about this way too long.
Captain
but-
Marvel came out on Thursday. Friday morning, like before noon, people have assembled images going, well, here are some references to a big hit 1994 Quentin Tarantino movie that are secretly in Captain, like complete with screenshots and shit. I'm like, the fuck? How are you getting that? Like, what are you doing? Like, you've obviously stolen this movie for one, and two, you've just decided, I'm going to put out all these things just right there with no context. Just go, hashtag Captain Marvel, and, here's things that clearly line up with shots from Pulp Fiction. I'm like, fuck you. It's been 12 hours.
Yep.
Yeah. We were having this conversation at dinner, but when I start thinking about it, it makes me angry because, like, when I go to a movie or movie, TV show, anything that I'm actually like invested in, it is not turn my brain off, but it is 100% focus on that. I don't fuck with my phone. I mean, if I'm rewatching something or it's like background noise TV, maybe I will. But like, if I'm watching a movie that I I came to watch the movie or to watch the TV show. Like, I'm not sitting there with my phone in my hand while I'm watching fucking Game of Thrones. I'm not live tweeting it. I'm not live blogging it. I'm just fucking watching the show and letting it wash over me, because that's what we need in this goddamn society, is something to take you out of it for a few minutes. So all these people that sit around like with their finger on the fucking hair trigger of memeology, it's like
Meme smiths.
whatever.
Hot, sweaty meme smiths.
It's like you're
slaving
not
over the forge.
You're not even fucking enjoying the thing. You're just like, you're watching it from like a, what can I pull out and what's going to put me on the top page and give me that gold on Reddit. It's like, fuck you. Just literally go fuck yourself. Like like Wang Chung yourself every night. Like it's fucking stupid. Like, you know, you want goddamn internet points. Fuck you and enjoy a thing. Like,
Yeah.
or go
I
make
mean-
your own fucking thing, and then, you know, like, I just take
Meme your own. Make your own shit.
Take all
meme
that,
your own shit.
Take all
Get
that
outta
fucking
here.
time and energy that you're like taking somebody else's shit and making a derivative bullshit thing about it, and fucking make something original. And then they're all the same assholes. They're just like, it's all reboots and remakes and sequels. And yeah, you're fucking memeing shit. Fuck you. So I'm done.
You're memeing shit. Fuck you.
Well, it's literally the most derivative thing, and then like, oh, there's another sequel, reboot, another Marvel movie. Yeah, like, fuck you. Like, just
And
I don't know. That's just my general old man rant on the internet. I'm fucking sick of it. It's
And
like,
I'll tell you what's going to be worse,
what?
because they are both happening at the same time,
Ooh, what's
is the dumb mashup memes
Oh
of
Jesus.
this Game of Thrones character died, this Avenger died, all the feels in one image. You know,
I want him to totally motherfuck us and make everybody live.
I thought about that for a minute. Like when they were
They
setting
save
up Game of
everybody.
Thrones the next episode, like Daenerys just rides in on a dragon, nukes the Night King, and the
Done.
whole White Army
mean,
just dies.
yeah.
Do we know for a fact that the next one is the Battle of Winterfell?
has to be.
Yes.
No. I mean, like, have they actually, like, that's the name of the episode? Like, do we know this?
I don't
They
know.
do not announce the names of the episodes before. They just when you pull it up on HBO Go, it just says Game of Thrones episode 70.
I would not be surprised if they fuck with everybody and they cut down to King's Landing for an entire episode.
Well, I will say I never watched the Next Week on Game of Thrones thing, but
neither.
I kind of forgot, and it just started playing, and it's
Okay.
bad. It's
I'm just-
unless they are lying and showing clips of later this season, but
that's all I'm saying is,
Yeah.
like, that would be hilarious because, like, they never went away from Winterfell for that entire episode, and just to be like, oh yeah, there was some shit happening down here simultaneous, so let's
Thing
see
is,
that before we get
there
to
is
the battle.
shit happening down there.
I know,
Yeah.
but
Like they've basically put every character that matters except for Cersei up there.
yep,
And I believe all of them are an hour and a half from this point forward, right?
Yes,
sure.
correct.
Yeah.
And when we're dancing into spoilery territory for that, for somebody hasn't made me watched yet,
Yeah,
so
it's all right.
I'm just saying, like, I like when people subvert expectations. Like, that's why I'm kind of laughing at all the crying fan boys about Last Jedi, because it's like you took all this shit that you pontificated for 2 years about, and then went, nah, it's not important in 2 fucking seconds. Like, I kind of. It's mild trolling. It's a little bit like it's Schadenfreude trolling thing, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes it makes me giggle with delight to fuck with the people that are just like, okay, seriously, just let it fucking wash over you and stop talking about it. That's I don't care if you want to talk about it for hours after a thing has happened, fine. But spending 2 years like, oh, Snoke could be Jar Jar and he's the fucking Darth Plagueis, and fuck you, like like just get a goddamn life.
I mean,
To quote Julian
So I'm
Schneider,
assuming you guys talked
Michael
about
Scott.
the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah, we did.
a little
Little
bit,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a good trailer.
give me that Star Wars.
Though yeah, the end is kind of like,
Uh-huh.
you were doing this, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. I was all in on it, and then at the end I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what their play is there.
Yeah.
But as
Yeah.
I've said before, these Star Wars movies are good. The last 3 that we got were not good. So
Yeah.
keep it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, the last.
I didn't want to like steer into Star Wars talk again because we did that for a while.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, them trolling the audience by suddenly doing a cutaway episode of what's happening in the South or over in Marine
Yeah.
or whatever when you're expecting the fucking Battle of Winterfell would be hilarious.
God, could you imagine if they
Be
went
good.
to Marine where like literally none of the characters are anymore?
Yeah.
They're like, huh, what's trade like in Marine these days?
What's going on in Dorne?
They spend an episode on the docks of Bravos. Just
It's fishing.
oysters, plays.
Yep.
Anyway,
All right.
are we done?
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
stop talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
One person should talk.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
Buy a shirt. Buy a shirt. Buy a motherfucking shirt.
Oh, yeah, we
Not a
got
tank
shirts.
top.
Yeah.
Not
no.
a sport coat. A fucking shirt. Shirts are available. Bearsuitstudios.bigcartel.com. You can buy yourself a motherfucking shirt. We do not ship internationally by default on the website, but if you want a shirt and you are not in the United States of America, please send us an email and we will arrange for that.
Also,
You'll have to pay
get
shipping.
good scrub.
Yeah.
Right.
You've already gotten good scrub
Yeah,
by
that's
not
true.
being in America.
Yeah,
But send us an email and we will arrange it. We'll have to charge you what we get charged for shipping, but we'll make it happen for you because we love you.
I've heard from one overseas shirt buyer that their shirt did arrive, so
Excellent.
that didn't take long at all.
No, I think the one that we sent to Straya got there real quick.
I think so.
Yeah, weird. But speaking of we love you, we love all of our patrons over at patreon.com/BMFcast. Thank you so much for contributing to the delinquency of these bad movie minors. I don't have a good segue from that, but if you want to get in touch with us, BMF at BMFcast.com or 910-5JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. For all other things, see the website at BMFcast.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
Nailed it.
All right. Let's get out of here, shall we?
it. All right.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and this is BMFcast out. See you after the end game.
Vaya con Dios.
Motherfucker.
Just dust away.
Shut down.
Yeah, it'd be
Shut
great.
up.
Like, they just save everybody in the Avengers and no one dies in Game of Thrones. And it's just like, well, I guess I'll retire. I don't know.
Yeah, they rewind Thanos, and he's just like, you guys are all right.
Yeah,
I think
you
I'll
got-
join you.
You got a point.
I was reading the internet and I've come to the decision that Thanos was wrong.
Yeah.
If I killed half of everything, that means I kill half the food as well, and it doesn't fix anything. and-
Living
Dogs,
creatures.
There's only half the dogs.
They have said living creatures several times. So, not half the food.
Plants
well,
are
okay, half
alive.
the cows. Yeah. Cows are not creatures. I mean, I'm sorry. Plants are not creatures. Cows are creatures.
What you got against cows?
A grill.
Move the fucking planet of rabbits and you'll have a
Man.
population in 2 days.
Look at this dog. Look at that dog.
That is a cute ass dog. I saw that in the. Hey, if you check out the
Jen-
website, there's a link to the Discord. You can check out the Show Off Your Pets channel.
Jen gets such fucking good pictures of our dogs. I can't handle it. I don't know how
But-
she does it either.
iPhone has taken really
Yeah.
really excellent pictures. I mean, it's for the last few generations had really good cameras, but
Yeah.
current gen pictures are wonderful.
I'm like, don't move, dog. Let me get my phone. And then they're just like, where are we going?
No. Kona's great. Kona's great about him. Abby, like, she knows when you're trying to take her picture, and then she's like,
Oh, she gets real jittery. I try to take pictures.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you put the phone in, she's like,
Yeah.
now you're just a blurry dog.
Yeah. Whereas Kona's just like, hey, take my pig.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool dog.
I don't know if it's weird that I try to take pictures of your dogs. But
No, the dog. That's the thing about living with those two dogs is like something fucking adorable happens like every couple hours, or they wake up at 5 in the morning because one has to express her anal glands in the bed.
That was lucky. Somehow I flipped my phone to not make or to make noise. Somehow I didn't get any notifications.
It's because nobody loves you.
Anyway,
true.
are we still online or? Are we...
Oh yeah, we are.
Hey.
Take us offline now.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Goodbye, line.